Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Oak Ridge Wildcat football, a new season, 2023. Derek Rang's first year, upcoming in about 30 minutes. Here in just a couple of moments, we will have the honoring of a 1958 national championship football team here at Oak Ridge. Alex Myers with you, Mike Sheehan alongside me today, David Clary and Brian Bennett producing. Mark and Shauna Hayes with the stats, as you have gotten used to, and as I creep down the hallway towards a legendary voice, 45 years. The voice of Guy Hamrick has been over the airways here at Blankenship Field. And the PA announcer, I'm going to hand it off to him as he gets ready to announce and honor the 1958 football season.
Please direct your attention to the game administrators meeting that's being held in Midfield. This meeting includes Oak Ridge High School Principal Drayton Hawkins, Athletic Director Joe Gaddis, Oak Ridge Head Coach Derek Rang, Jefferson County High School Head Coach Spencer Riley, the referee, Oak Ridge Police Department Officer Mike Swagger. Each of these are reviewing their responsibilities in tonight's game.
From that introduction to the 1958 state championship, if you go over to the FM 92.7, you can hear on WIJV as per usual. You'll be able to hear the pregame show going on right now if you want to stay with us and hear the 1958 honoring of the 1958 national championship team. You will need to stay right here. You can always catch the pregame show now, and we will have this pregame honoring of the 58 team on replay on YouTube. So that's your two options. We got about 3 or 4 minutes until they honor them. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will go to Guy Hamrick as they honor the 1958 national championship team here at Blankenship Field. You here as we're getting set to honor the 1958, the legendary football team from Oak Ridge High School. A terrific season that culminated in a national championship, Oak Ridge's only national championship. But of course, there's very, very few programs in the country at any level that can claim a national championship. Secret City certainly was proud then. They're proud now, and in honor of that, they're going to honor those members of the 1958 team, several of which have made the trip to Blankenship Field today and are here. And as they pace along near the 50-yard line, we're getting set to honor them. Former head coach Joe Gaddis, current athletic director, is out there meeting with some administrative folks. I see Teresa Seals down there. Alan Etheridge does a great job with the sports media team, capturing this moment for those family, those friends, and everyone involved here. And just hang tight with us as we get set. Again, once the announcements start, I will hand the microphone over to the dulcet tones of Guy Hamrick. Been doing it, he told me before the game, this is his 45th year announcing. If you've ever been to a game at Blankenship Field, if you've ever listened to us and you hear the tones that are synonymous with Blankenship Field and Jack Armstrong Stadium, Guy Hamrick's voice has been the one that you hear saying first down, touchdown, Wildcats, etc. Again, his 45th year as we're getting set. Let's take another quick break. When we come back, we'll have the honoring of the 1958 National Championship team. Set to honor the 1958 National Championship team.
This evening we're honoring our 1958 Oak Ridge High School football team. This team was voted undisputed state champions after an undefeated and untied season. The 58 team led the state in offense and defense, averaging 44 points per game while allowing less than 3 points per game. They later became the first Tennessee high school team in any sport to be named national champions. The team had only two coaches, Jack Armstrong, the namesake of our stadium, and former Oak Ridge High School principal Don Bordinger. In 1958, they hosted and defeated powerhouse Chattanooga Central in what was the largest and most anticipated game ever played at Blankenship Field. The game was broadcast by radio stations across the state, and an overflow crowd of 14,000 fans were in attendance, along with a number of major college head coaches, including the young Bear Bryant. 16 players on the 58 team were awarded football scholarships to nationally known colleges and universities, including 6 in the SEC. The 1958 team was recently inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame and became the first high school team in any sport to be presented with the David Williams Historical Achievement Award. A memorial commemorating his team and high school and college All-America player Jackie Pope is located at the top of our famed steps leading to the field. With us this evening are the following members of our 58 National Championship team: Dr. Woody Barwick. Skip Brinkman. Jimmy Culp. Bobby Mitchell. Jane Pope, representing Jackie Pope. Larry Richards. Norma Weber, representing Evans Weber. Please join me now in showing your appreciation for our 1958 Oak Ridge Wildcats state champion, national champion, and Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame football team.
Certainly want to salute those fine families, those fine members, and those outstanding, extraordinary teammates of the 1958 National Championship team. We've got about 20 minutes until Oak Ridge takes the field for game number 1 in this 2023 season. We're going to send it off to break. Our pregame's coverage continues over on WIJV 92.7. If you're watching on YouTube and want to continue to do that, that's fine. Our coverage will continue, and we'll pick up just a few minutes before kickoff. Again, 20 minutes till kickoff. We'll be back just a few minutes before that. Thank you so much. Test, 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 test. Welcome into tonight's broadcast. If you're joining us now, we go live to the field. They're getting ready for our national anthem.
Please remain standing as the Oak Ridge High School Band, under the field direction of drum major Elena Russell, plays our national anthem.
Welcome in as we continue pregame coverage here, as we're just about 10 minutes or so from game time. Alex Myers with you, also alongside me to my right, as he has been so many times, and I'm so appreciative for that, Mike Sheehan, former Wildcat, just missed the being on the 1958 team, something like that, Mike. But but glad to have you back. We only got a minute or so here before we got to send it off to our final break before the game. But what are you looking forward to most being back here on a Friday night? It's always special on the first night, on the first Friday.
You know, nobody in this whole stadium wants to win this game more than the new head coach of Oak Ridge Wildcats, Derek Frank. I want to welcome him, his staff, David Jefferson, offensive coordinator. I think they're going to be great. I really look forward to it. They got a lot of young, talented players in this team. We've got a lot of good senior terrific players on this team. Jarvis, Brendan Hayward, you know, these guys are going to be really good. But we got to have a line to block for them. They're going to be young, they're big, they're strong, and they're talented. I'm real pleased with the way the preseason has worked out. They've had some great scrimmages. And now it's time to suit up and play the Jefferson County Patriots here on opening night 2023.
Thank you, Mike. As the last time these two teams played was back in 2006, where Oak Ridge blew them out. It was a 48-7 game. On homecoming, Tim Youngkin was the homecoming queen. A lot of you remember him, a member of the Pep Radio crew back in the day. Paul Bingham was a standout superstar. He had 4 touchdowns and 112 yards rushing. Oak Ridge has won 7 in a row, dating back to 1997. Jefferson County won 5 straight to begin the series. We'll see if the Cats can make it 8. Mike, that sound can only mean one thing. The Wildcats have 72 steps to trot down. They're doing that as I speak. We are moments away, 5 minutes and 43 seconds away from kickoff. And I was going to send it to break, but we're going to keep it right here. Mike, as a former player, watching the Cardinal in gray come down those steps, what does that do to you? It gets my blood boiling, and I didn't play for Oak Ridge. What does it do for you?
I tell you, it's been 56 years since I came down the steps the first time for me, but I'll never forget it. It was exhilarating. I was so excited. I mean, people patting me on my shoulder pads. All my brother's friends were all there, the young kids. People greeting you as you come down the field, pumping you up. The adrenaline's flowing like there's no tomorrow. And this is a really exciting time for these players to come down these steps and hear the crowd yelling for them.
I'm not trying to have some dead air, but Mike, sometimes at a sporting event, when there's a moment like that, you just have to let it breathe, if you will, and just soak up the moment. And selfishly, I'm being a fan right now, and we're just sitting there watching it as the team comes racing out through the L that is formed, pointing towards the Oak Ridge sideline. The Wildcats have taken the field. Jefferson County has yet to do so. We're going to send it off for a quick break. When we come back, our pregame coverage concludes and the season is introduced.
How much time we got? 3 minutes? I'll be right.
Three minutes till Oak Ridge kickoff. 3 minutes till Oak Ridge kickoff. Brian, let's take a 60-second timeout. When we come back, we will be live with Oak Ridge football. Test, test. My mic was a little hot there. Brian. See if this is a little better. I tend to talk loud. I just turned it down. I want to make sure it's good. Okay, you ready? All right. Let's open that mic up.
We're going to receive. We will be receiving.
Welcome back and welcome into another season of Oak Ridge Wildcat football here on Prep Radio, prepradio.com, youtube.com. You can search us for Prep Radio, and you can also find us on FM 92.7 WIJV, as we have been for so many years. We want to thank you so much for listening. David Clary producing from remote. Brian Bennett producing as well. Mark and Shauna Haste are doing the stats as always, and we've got a cast and crew of characters as usual down on the field filming for us. And I want to say thanks to Kaysen, who is doing his first time filming with us. He's got the top camera. I'm Alex Myers. To my right is Mike Sheehan. Chris Skip in the booth tonight as well. Mike, we've got about 60 ticks on the clock until it's time to kick off. Who will be kicking off? Who will be receiving?
Let's see. I don't have that in front of me.
I think you said Oak Ridge will be receiving. Probable starting lineup for Oak Ridge tonight: Jared Bafford, Elijah Young, Malachi Bonner, Cannon Hickson, and Ethan Eubanks up front. Quarterback making his first start ever as a high schooler. He's a sophomore, Blaine Stansberry, number 1 at quarterback. Tailback Najavis Dozier, no stranger to the spotlight. Wideouts Brandon Hayward, Will Presley, Almani Rimbert, and Valon Henderson. Mike, the stage is set. The teams are set, and we are off. Moving right to left is the kickoff. Oak Ridge receives it Now moving left to right. Here comes Oak Ridge past the 20-yard line, fighting, trotting, nearly fumbled the ball. I think he was down. And he was not. Oak Ridge has fumbled the initial kickoff. I could not quite see who had the ball returning for Oak Ridge.
Arms.
That would be Arms. And very talented, but a sophomore. I don't know if he had the jitters. It looked like there was just several guys wrapping him up. In the first play of the Derek Rang era, unfortunately, results in a turnover. Jefferson County will have the ball. What a turn of events here early. All the momentum has been sucked out of this place. It's very, very quiet, Mike.
Yeah, sophomore Riker Arms, but somebody put a helmet on the ball, Alec. Knocked it right out from under his arm just before he went down. And the Jefferson Patriots have the ball 1st and 10 already in Wildcat territory at their own 25.
Jefferson County will come out into this sort of pistol shotgun look in their white uniforms, gray pants, tread with red. Handoff right side. Makes a couple men miss, but cannot make the third. And there was Oak Ridge's. There's a freshman in there on the tackle, Valon Henderson, 6'2", 165-pounder. He is a talented player, playing wideout and cornerback tonight, starting both ways for the Wildcats. Here comes Jefferson County, 2nd and 10, moments into the first quarter. Handoff straight up the middle. They're going to get it for about 3, maybe we'll call it 4. The handoff went to Amarion Mills, the talented senior running back, 5'11", 191. And it'll bring up a early 3rd down, the first of the ball game for either team. 3rd and a short 6. 2 wideouts right, 1 to the left, man in the backfield. Fake goes there. Quarterback's looking left all the way. Little hitch route, comes back, caught at the 12-yard line. He's blasted, and then he fumbles, but the ball rolls harmlessly out of bounds. And I think he has enough. He does. So it will be a 1st down and 10. Jefferson County, as they have it with 10:56 to go here in the opening quarter. There was a fumble on the initial kickoff return by Oak Ridge. It was recovered. And just 4 plays later, here we are. Jefferson County out of the shotgun. They'll go 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Running back to the quarterback's left hip. And now he's going to move to the right. H-back on the right side as well. Well spread out on the left hash. Here comes a man in motion, left to right. Handoff goes right side, Jefferson County. And they're going to get about a yard, maybe 2, before a host of Wildcats bring him down. It looks like Bashan Knowles was one of the first ones. Mike, Bashan's a guy who's very versatile. He looks like a wide receiver, but he can play defensive end. He can play, he can play just about running back if he wanted him to, but he's going to kind of play almost the outside linebacker rush in. He's a guy that Oak Ridge is going to count on that defensive end.
You'll see a lot of him this whole season on both offense and defense, Allen.
Comes the quarterback, Hatson. Hatson's going to give it off left side to the running back, and he's going to get up near 1st down territory. They're near the goal line, but they can have a 1st down. It was Dallas Williamson, a 6', 200-pound running back, much thicker running back than he's really what they call the almost the sniffer back. Oak Ridge subbing some guys in, trying to get a little more beef in there, as it will be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Jefferson County remains in the shotgun formation. Quarterback, Hatson. Hatson hands off left, and there's an easy touchdown. Too easy that time for Jefferson County, as it was Amarion Mills. His 3rd carry of the ball game, and his 3rd carry hit pay dirt. Just a 5-yard scamper off the left tackle, and just like that, Jefferson County, the Patriots, have come into Oak Ridge at Blankenship Field on a celebratory night and strike first. Mike, that's not what Oak Ridge wanted. That's not what they needed, and it's certainly not what this crowd expected.
It's not the way to start a game. These turnovers will absolutely kill you. I remember that game was 51-0. We had 7 turnovers that night. We cannot let this keep happening, Alec, and win.
Extra point is off, nearly blocked, but it was not. It's good. It's 7-0 Jefferson County, 9:58 to go in the first. We're going to take a 60-second timeout and come back with kickoff. Mills. Kickoff is off. This time it is Dozier. Dozier catches it at the 6. He's got a group of blockers in front of him. He's going to squeeze his way out past the 27 up to the 28. Let's see where they mark him. They're going to give him the 30-yard line. So after that kickoff return, the Wildcats will be set up on their nearest to the sideline, home sideline hash. Dozier with a nice, we'll call it a 25-yard return, and it sets Oak Ridge up in decent field position to start here. 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. 7-0. Oak Ridge got the opening kickoff, fumbled immediately on that kickoff. Jefferson County capitalized, scoring on their opening possession, and that's how we arrived at this score. 7-0. 9:50 to play. Blaine into the backfield at quarterback. His first start. Quick screen out there to Hayward. Hayward, Brandon Hayward gets a nice gain of we'll call it 7 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 2. Quick pass, not a lot to that one. But Brandon Hayward is such a good athlete. He's one of the playmakers start to finish this season. You just got to get the ball in his hands and good things will happen.
Absolutely. He made one player miss, or he wouldn't have got any yardage on that play. He broke the play out for an 8-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down and 2 now for the Wildcats.
Blaine Stansbury, second play from scrimmage as a starter, and he's immediately bolted. Bolted way back near the original starting line of scrimmage. They're going to call it a loss of 4, and it will be third, in 8 yards to go. So that just came right up the middle. I don't know if that was a missed assignment, if Blaine didn't see it, but somehow there was a miscommunication, and it turned up in a sack.
A blitzing linebacker, Brandon Griffin, came in untouched, and Stansbury didn't have a chance.
3rd and 8. Stansbury looks to his left, now scans the field. Under a little bit of duress, he's going to look to the right. He's going to throw on the run to a wide-open Hayward. Hayward, 45, up to the 50, and he's tackled out of bounds on the Oak Ridge sideline. Beautiful play from the young sophomore quarterback. Not only did he make a pass, he put some touch on it, and he scrambled and bought himself a couple more seconds.
I tell you, that didn't look like a sophomore player to me. Like that looked like a senior player out there. He was very composed on that play. He didn't get rattled. He had a lot of pressure. They were bearing down on him. He got outside, made a perfect pass.
As Stansbury made a terrific throw. Here's Stansbury in the shotgun again. Looking left, he's going to fire it out to Dozier, and it's batted down. You got to be careful. That was nearly a lateral, a backwards pass. It was forward, but it was close. Jefferson County said it was backwards. Referees got it right, but it's a little too close to comfort. And, going back to that previous play where Stansbury bought himself some time, kept his eye downfield, didn't panic, and then put touch on the ball. That's what you hear from this coaching staff around town is they're poised, and from the mental aspect of the game, Mike, he's way older than a sophomore.
Coach Rang has high praise for this young man. He's really worked hard with him since he's been here, and he really shows.
Quick throw to the right, Rembert. Rembert catches it for a gain of about 6 up to the 44-yard line, down to the 44-yard line, and it'll be 3rd and 3. 3rd and a long 3 for the Wildcats upcoming. 8 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Jefferson County leads 7-0. That will be, we missed it a moment ago, but we did miss a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down on that long throw to Hayward. 3rd and 3. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the near side, and Hayward. Fake up the middle. Quick throw to Hayward. Makes a man miss, down to the 30, across the 25, lowers his shoulder, makes another man miss to the 20, and he's finally taken out of bounds at the Jefferson County 17-yard line. Hayward was not going to go down easy. He's not a running back, but when he's got the ball in his hands, he sort of acts like one.
Man, he sure does. He made 3 people miss that time, Alec. He got outside, got diagonal, and just kept driving up the field. He's got Oak Ridge in great position now. Looks like the ball is down on the 17-yard line. Great pass, great run by Brandon Hayward.
Got a very, very familiar aging official, but a very familiar official who's done a lot of work in this area. If it's who I think it is for a couple of sports, and he just issued Oak Ridge a sideline warning. I think it was one of Lucas Forstrom's favorite officials from back in the day. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Aaron Green as well, moving Cannon, his daughter, former Lady Wildcat, into college this weekend, but he is listening and watching, I believe, from Charleston, he said. So Thank you for watching and listening wherever you may be watching or listening for, as the clock has stopped after that first down, and I think there's an issue with the officials before we're now ready to go. 7:35 to go in the first quarter. Oak Ridge trailing 7-0, but driving. Handoff. Went to Dozier at first, and then they tossed it right back up the middle. It was a cool-looking play. The problem is Jefferson County's interior defensive lineman came up so strong, there was just no way Rembert was going to be able to do anything.
That's exactly right. Jefferson County really had that play covered well. As Oak Ridge works now into the sun, and it's kind of blinding, they're having to cover their eyes to look over to the sideline.
Yeah, Coach Rang's going to want a timeout. I think you're exactly right. We're going to take one with them. 30-second break, and when we come back, we'll finish up this drive, hopefully with points. It's 7-0, Oak Ridge trailing with 7:10 to go in the opening quarter. We got to just leave these on, because I'm forgetting to.
Yeah, really. I'm impressed with Stalemate. He looks good. He really does.
They say mentally the aspect of the game is way far more advanced for somebody who's never started before.
Right.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan with you today. Or this evening, I guess you could say tonight. The sun is starting to set on the northwest side of Blankenship Field as we sit in it in our perch atop Jack Armstrong Stadium here in the press box. Blaine Stansberry on his first drive from scrimmage as a starting quarterback ever, trying to lead these Wildcats to points. They're at the 17-yard line. Man goes in motion left to right, handoff right side to Dozier. Going towards Oak Ridge's sideline, gets past the 20, up across the 15, and he all the way goes down, we're going to say the 13-yard line. So a gain of about 5, we'll call it, and it will be, let's see, it will be 3rd and we'll call it 6. Spot him a little bit shorter than I thought they were going to. 3rd and 6 here from the Patriot 12-yard line. 3 receivers left, Dozier to Blaine's left at the running back position. One wide out to the right, the freshman. Handoff, no, it's a fake. Pass caught, or is it not? Was it bobbled? He called it incomplete, which is the bad news. The good news, Mike, there's a flag that came in from the back judge. All intents and purposes, all hints would incite that this is likely a pass interference because Hayward, the reason he didn't catch it, he had a defender draped all over him before that ball got there. We'll wait.
That is exactly the call, Alec. Somebody had a hold of his arm, Brendan Hayward, and Hayward wasn't able to catch the ball because he was being held. And this is going to go against the Jefferson County Patriots, and the Wildcats are going to be in an excellent position here. I think this is going to be a first down.
It will be, and that's it. You actually, I'll give you credit, Mike. You were spot on. It was not a pass interference. It was a holding call that he was held, and that was the call. It will be 1st and goal, a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down, and it'll be 1st and goal Wildcats from the 6-yard line. Oak Ridge, they want to be multiple, and this is what they'll do. Instead of keeping that same formation, they will bring Vashon Knowles, that defensive specialist, great athlete, really, really strong, a big player, in as almost a fullback. Handoff, Dozier makes one man miss, can't make the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and he's a wrestle down in the backfield. He's lucky if he got back to the line. I think they're going to say he did. Mike, that was a great effort just to get back to the line.
It certainly was. Jefferson County had that play well covered that time. Their linebackers were very quick, Alec. The interior lineman held their own, and then the linebacker came in and made the tackle before Jarvis Dozier could get any inertia going, and there was no gain on that play. Brings up 2nd and 7, ball on the 7.
Oak Ridge trailing 7-0, 5:51 to go in the first quarter. Stansberry in the shotgun, barking out directions to Dozier to his right hip. He's going to look left. He wants to pass, and now he's going to try to scramble before he's sacked, and he can't get out of the backfield in time, and he's going to go down. That's 2 sacks on this opening drive. Stansberry just really didn't have anywhere to go with it. Maybe he could have tried to break it off outside, but I'll just give a credit to the defensive line of the Patriots so far has been very strong. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line, 5:25 to go in the opening quarter. Oak Ridge trailing 7-0.
I'm of the opinion they're going to have to get wide because these guys are really big up front. and they are penetrating right now. And the Wildcats can't get anything going on the running game. They're going to have to get wide.
Same formation. Nall still in there at the sniffer position. Stansbury throws, fade right. Coming down with it. No, he dropped it. Hayward dropped it. He had it for a moment, and it was a really nice play by the defensive back. It looks like that was cornerback Jaden Jackson, who did not have the height over Hayward. Hayward, he kind of just got pushed out of bounds as he was bobbling the ball. It was close. It was a great throw. It was right there, and it was a great effort by Hayward. Just a really nice play by the defensive back.
Well, Hayward had great, separation on that particular play, and the ball was in his hands, but he was falling backward, lost his balance. The ball falls harmless to the floor. Wildcats are going for a field goal.
That field goal is up, and it is good, courtesy of Brandon Pearson. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. When we come back, we'll have more Oak Ridge football from Blankenship Field.
Who kicked that?
Brandon Pearson.
What number is he?
Or Eli Pearson, excuse me.
Eli, that's what I thought.
Eli Pearson, after just giving the Oak Ridge Wildcats their first 3 points of the season on that field goal, kicks this one off. A pretty good kick, lands at the 5-yard line. Jefferson County with a pretty good return, though, all the way up to the 30-yard line. They will start this drive on the Oak Ridge sideline hash.
Sean Jackson there on the run for the Jefferson County Patriots. He's one of their starting running backs. Sean is and also a return man. Very good runner for the Jefferson County as he moves the ball out on the Wildcats to the 30. Brings up 1st and 10. They're 70 yards away. Oak Ridge defense needs to hold them right here, Alec.
And in the preseason, the strength of Oak Ridge has been their offense. There's been no bones about it. There's a lot of talent, a lot of returning veterans on that defense, but they have not been as stout as we've seen in years past. This will be something that Oak Ridge will have to work on, and we'll see if they can hold them on this drive. First play of this drive is a handoff left side. It's going to give about 2 yards. And again, it is that bell cow for this offense.
Bryce Dorsey there on the stop for the Wildcats. As now it brings up 2nd down and 8 for the Patriots on the 33.
It was Mills, Samarian Mills on the carry. 2nd and 7. Ball on the 33, 4:23 to go. Movement early, no call. That's 2 snaps in a row. You know what else came early and often? That pressure from the Oak Ridge defensive line. Boy, they were back there quick that time, weren't they?
Elijah Bradley there on the stop for the Wildcats. And the Patriots got nothing that time. Brings up 3rd and 8 now on the 32. They actually lost a yard on that play.
3rd down play. He's under pressure. He's going to have to scramble right as Halton. Ball goes in and out of the hands of the open receiver who had a chance to make a man miss and get that 1st down. Pass was incomplete, falls harmlessly to the ground for the Wildcats. You hear the cat scratch fever going on behind my head. And that brings up the punt unit for Jefferson County.
Yeah, Dustin Roberts, I'm sure, wishes he had that back for the Patriots, right in his hands and right back out. Now they're going to have to punt to the Wildcats. Deep for the Wildcats, number 3.
That'll be Almani Rimber.
Almani Rimber, yeah, he's a great run back.
It will be kicker, 5'6" senior, Halston. Almost a rugby-style kick, and that is a bad one. Oak Ridge needs to get away, though. It could be a turnover. It hits
Look at that.
the 45 and takes a great Oak Ridge roll down to the Patriot 35-yard line. That is a net punt of, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards on the punt, and Oak Ridge had nothing to do with the return. Let's take a 30-second timeout, and we'll come back to Blankenship Field.
That ball just bounced back big time. Wow. That's crazy. Great field position. Great field position. We need to score this time.
I see him take a shot to Presley right here.
I think you're right.
First and 10 for the Wildcats. Stansberry at quarterback. 2 wide receivers right. He's going to flip it out to his right side. That's Dozier out of the backfield. He's going to scamper forward for, we'll call it a tough 3, but they're going to call a flag in the area of holding. There were 2 Wildcat receivers. It was Presley and Henderson out there on the right side. I don't know which one of them did it, but they're going to call one of them, maybe both of them. We'll split the share. We'll share the love here. But regardless, that's going to negate a 3-yard gain, and it will set Oak Ridge back. It will still be first down, but they'll now be playing behind the sticks. So turnover early, a penalty there. I think that's Oak Ridge's first penalty on the game. You sort of expect these things early. The turnover on that very first play being so far back. If that happens on the first drive, 3 or 4 plays later, that's one thing, but that hurts you. But you're still in this thing. It's 7-3. You're trailing. 3:22 to go in the opening quarter. And after that holding penalty on the receiver, it will be 1st and 20. Ball on the Patriot 45-yard line. Oak Ridge still in positive territory here. Snap to Stansberry. He's looking right. He's going to take a shot for Rimbert. The throw is there. The catch is there. 5-3. Touchdown for number 3, Almonte Rimbert. Put up 6 on the board. Oak Ridge takes the lead. Stansberry's first touchdown as a starting quarterback at Oak Ridge High School.
And what a perfect strike it was, Alex. He never broke a stride. He got separation, got behind the defender, caught the ball over his shoulder, and did nothing but go to the goal line for the score. Almonte Rimbert, a great touchdown. And now the Wildcats are back in this thing. 9-7.
Pearson on the extra point. It is up. It is good. Oak Ridge with a 10-7 lead. Their first of the ball game with 3:02 to go in the opening quarter. We're going to take a 60-second timeout and come back with more action. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers alongside Mark Hayes, Shauna Hayes, and Mike Sheehan. Eli Pearson for the kickoff. It is up and is a darn good one. All the way back at the 1-yard line. It's fielded by Jefferson County across the 15 to the 20, and they're going to be shut down at the 22-yard line. A couple of Oak Ridge Wildcats in there on the stop, including J.T. Gormley, the 6-foot, 185-pound sophomore. So now Oak Ridge defense gave up points the first drive, but they had a very, very short field. Second drive, Mike, 3 and out. They looked really good. Now let's see if they can build off that and some momentum here as Jefferson County now playing from behind for the first time this game.
Yeah. Love the way this game's came. The Wildcats have came back fighting today, Alec. It's been a great start for the Wildcats here in the first quarter.
Handoff up the middle. 2 running backs to the hip of the quarterback on either side, and that's kind of been what we've seen so far for the most part. Different formation, but same result. 2 yards and a cloud of dust, and it will bring up 2nd down and 8. 2:41 to go here in the opening quarter. Jefferson County with the ball, trailing the Wildcats 10-7. A lot of fireworks in this first quarter, Mike.
Absolutely. Some great plays by the Wildcats and the Patriots.
Here comes the quarterback, handoff right side, Marion Williamson. He's going to do all he can just to sputter forward for a couple of yards, and it will bring up 3rd. And we'll be generous and say 6. It's probably more like 7, but they've marked it to say 6. 3rd down here, Mike. big play opportunity to pin this team back deep again. If anything was shown off of that first drive, it's to say this team may not have the greatest punting unit. So if you get a stop here, you certainly be setting yourself up in good position. 3rd down, 7 to go. Quarterback rolling right, rolling. They've got a screen pass set out on the right side, and they've got the first down. They got it all the way up to the 31-yard line on the quick screen out on the right side to Dallas Williamson. They anticipated pressure. Oak Ridge brought pressure, and it was a perfect play call, Mike.
Yeah, it was. They got out in the flat and got a good block up front there before Oak Ridge's J.T. Gormley could come up and make the stop, but not before the Patriots got a first down.
Quarterback Mason Henderson hurries his team to the line. They're going to hand it to Williamson. He's going to do all he can to get 1, maybe 2 yards. They're going to give him 2. It'll be 2nd and a long 8 with 1:22 to go here in the opening quarter. As Oak Ridge's defensive line, outside of the first couple of plays, has looked pretty good here.
Yeah, they have.
2nd and 8, 1:11 to go in the opening quarter. Jefferson County, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right, 2 men in the backfield, both on the right side. They're on the right hash towards their sideline. Now, patiently waiting. Still got 15 seconds on the play clock as coordinator barks in signals from the right side. They've got it. The play is off. Play fake. Left side is tipped. It's intercepted by Vashon Knowles. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Vashon Knowles. Touchdown, Wildcats. There's a flag on the field. We'll see if the play stands. Regardless, Oak Ridge will have the ball. Oak Ridge will have the ball. The flag did not come out until after, so it could be an excessive celebration on top. They just threw another flag. It was a touchdown off the interception, Vashon Knowles. We'll see what they call it. I think it's coming back. But, boy, what a play. I said tipped, and it was tipped. I didn't lie. He did tip it, but then he caught his own tip. And just what we were talking about, Vashon Knowles, he's kind of a hybrid, almost a defensive end, but he's got and built almost like a wide receiver, a tight end. He is such an athlete and such a tool that Coach Rang and this defense can use.
Yeah, he's stretched out all 6'3", 200 pounds of himself to catch that ball and intercept it, and then nobody could touch him. And he got outside before Jefferson County realized he even had the ball, and Oak Ridge just scored on a 32-yard return, and they really stuck the air out of the Jefferson County Patriots with that play.
And they certainly found out not only does he not look like a defensive lineman, he certainly doesn't run like one. So they said on the Guy Hamrick, the PA announcer, said a sideline warning. But Oak Ridge was already warned once before, so that should be a penalty. However, I won't tell if you don't tell, Mike. They're going to count the touchdown. There was a penalty, I believe, after for excessive celebration, but that won't affect the touchdown. It won't be assessed until the kickoff. So somehow Oak Ridge skirts off, and congratulations, Vashon Knowles. You get to count the touchdown, and Oak Ridge goes up by double digits if they can hit the extra point. Eli Pearson on. Oak Ridge up 16-7, trying to make it a 17-7 game. Snap, good. Hold, better. Kick, the greatest. It's all good. And all is good here at Blankenship Field early on. 17-7 Wildcats, 43 seconds to play. After a 60-second timeout, we'll be back to wrap things up in the first quarter.
Wow, what a great way to start. That hurt.
Pearson on the kick, way back at the 25 because of that unsportsmanlike penalty after the touchdown. It's a pooch kick, right side. He's going to get caught at 32, and it's going to be returned up until about the 41-yard line, and that's where Jefferson County will take over on the near hash towards the Oak Ridge sideline. I want to say something. and I'm not stuttering, I'm saying it twice for a reason. That's a class of Oak Ridge 1989 touchdown. That's a class of 1989 Oak Ridge touchdown. They sponsored the touchdowns after, and Oak Ridge has scored 2 touchdowns so far this game. And they are sponsoring them and being generous enough to donate and help sponsor the touchdowns this year. So I wanted to get 2 of them in there because I missed 2 of them. Not only are the players a little rusty as it comes back, well, I'm always rusty, but it's the first week, so I'll use that as an excuse, Mike, and say I'm rusty as well. Jefferson County with it is here. Sorry, Mike, to cut you off, but they're up to the line quick as I blabbered. First down, give off the right side. There's a lot of room on the right side. And, boy, Oak Ridge, one of the linebackers, somebody came in there and saved the day. It was Dallas Sprint coming back from his free safety position.
Malik Howard.
And, Mike, that was almost a 10-yard gain. Sprint came down and somehow made it about a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, Malik Howard came in and put a stop to that real quick. He only gained 2 on that play.
Probably the last play of the second quarter here. If they decide to snap it, they don't have to. 10 seconds on the game clock, 20 on the play clock. They do snap it. They hand it up the middle for a gain of about 3. And as the first quarter winds down, the second quarter will start with Jefferson County having its third down and 4 from their own 46-yard line. Let's take a 60-second timeout. Oak Ridge leads 17-7 after 1 quarter of play on opening night from Blankenship Field.
Offense. And I'm telling you, there's some good blocking up front, man. This don't happen without that blocking.
Come back and get set to start things off in the second quarter. A few shout-outs. Lots of people listening from all around the world thanks to the internet. Boston Weisgarber, one of my good friends, is in Nashville, but he's listening to his hometown team. Nick Suttles, member of our crew. I missed you throwing down on the field before the game, buddy. He's at work, couldn't be here tonight. And Bashawn Knowles with that interception. He's also a member of our crew. He helps us out in David Clarion basketball season. So another famous crew we'll get to later. Former member of our crew is in the house tonight watching his alma mater. We'll talk about that later. Third down, big play here. Handoff left side, and they're going to get it. There's a flag on the play, but the running back breaks this one long. 30, 25, all the way wrestled down at the 24-yard line. Izzy Mitchell knocked him out of bounds. There is a flag on the play, and there is a flag in the Jefferson County backfield.
This is coming back, Alec. Holding on the Jefferson County Patriot.
And that will get some applause from the Oak Ridge fans. The officials aren't always unpopular. As long as the calls are going your way, you like them, right?
Absolutely.
That's how that works. So what turned out to be Jefferson County's easily their best play of the game offensively, their longest, is negated by another penalty. And you expect this. This has been nothing like the South Louisville game last year for either side. But we have seen some penalties, and that's, you sort of expect it. You don't want it, you don't like it, but you sort of expect it, and it's hurt both sides to an extent. Really hurt Jefferson County on that play. Third down and 15 to go. Ball at their own, the Patriot 35-yard line. They've got to get up to midfield to get a first down. Jefferson County, 2 wideouts left, 1 to the right, running back to the left. He's going to roll to the left is the quarterback. And he's going to be blasted. Boom, big stick. Shout out to David Clary on that one.
Bryce Dorsey.
What a hit from Bryce Dorsey. I know guys will tell you, coaches will say you got to wrap up. Well, he didn't have to that time because he was on the ground before he could get his arms around him. Bryce Dorsey, that was a mammoth of a tackle.
That was a hammer tackle right there. Straight to his back. Great defensive play. Backed him up now. 4th down and 18 on the 32. They'll be putting the ball back to Amani Rembert.
They will, and that's a guy you don't want to put the ball in his hands. He's made a couple of nice plays already. If you can get the ball to him, this one's a line drive punt. It's going to go all the way down, and wow, somehow it stays in bounds and goes all the way and turns into a fantastic punt. It goes all the way to the Oak Ridge 14 before it rolls out of bounds. Mike, it hit at the 40. And it was hitting along the sideline, so Rembert was going to let it go out of bounds. Everyone in the stadium, I think including Jefferson County, thought it was rolling out of bounds. And, football's an oblong object. Somehow it caught the turf in the right position where it didn't go out of bounds, and Oak Ridge is starting back deep in their own territory.
I just knew it was going to go out of bounds at about the 30, but it did not. Like you said, it took a right-hand turn and just kept rolling right down the sideline all the way down to the 14.
Wildcats first and 10 from their own 14, 10:47 to go here in the second quarter. They lead at 17-7. Rembert, Mitchell, the wideouts to the left, Henderson and Presley to the right. Screen pass set up, it goes to the left, and there is Dozier. Dozier's going to scamper upfield for a gain of, we'll call it 6, and it will bring up second and 3. We'll say second and 4, Izzy Mitchell will sub out and into the game.
Alec, I really like the touch that Blaine Stansbury has on that ball. He backed up, and that was people bearing right down on his face, and he just lobbed that pass right into Javaris Dozier, and he made a good play.
I want to make note of this. Oak Ridge, 3 of their 4 wide receivers right now. Presley, I'll get to it after this play. Snap, fake. It's going to be a keeper. This is a read option play, and Stansbury's going to get hit pretty hard, and he's going to be taken down after a hard-fought gain of 1. A flag on the play. We'll see where that was. But while we're waiting on this penalty, what I was going to say, Mike, Oak Ridge had 4 wideouts into the game that time. 3 of them were sophomores or less. You had sophomore Jarrell Jefferson, you had sophomore Will Presley, and you had freshman Valon Henderson all out in the game, all split to the right side. With the sophomore quarterback in the backfield, it's a little scary if you're a coach putting them all out right now, but as you look forward to the next couple of years in this program, that's very, very exciting.
Well, I looked over that roster with a fine-tooth comb yesterday and today, and it amazes me how many sophomores are on this team. And I think back at Robertsville Jefferson year before last, Robertsville went undefeated. They were really good. And Jefferson has some excellent sophomores on their team, and this is one of the best sophomore teams Oak Ridge has had in years.
So it was against the Wildcats. Back them up 5 yards. 2nd and 9. Screen pass out to the left to Presley. Makes one man miss on a nice play, but can't make the second. And it was a nice effort from Presley to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's unfortunately about all he got. I think he got a yard, so we'll call it 3rd down and 8. 9:40 to play here in the second quarter from a sunny, ever so cooling slightly Blankenship field. And it will be 3rd and 7. Oak Ridge patiently waiting. Play clock down to 15 as they wait on the signal. Is Oak Ridge going to call a timeout? They're at 6, 5, 4. Coach Rang looks. He's going to wait till 3, 2, and now he's going to call a timeout. We'll take one with him. Oak Ridge up by 10 early in the second quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Sort of odd.
Really?
I would never do this to point out a rival's, poor situation. I'm only doing this to inform our audience, Mike, but it may be a score of interest to let folks know that Clinton is down 8-0 early on to Cleveland. They've got a tough stretch to start this season. As Oak Ridge has it here, 3rd and 8 from their own 17-yard line. Stansbury rolls right off the shotgun snap. He's going to get blasted as he throws it, and it could not quite get to the right side out to Hayward. Hayward was open, and he was just past the sticks, but that hit on him, he just couldn't quite get enough on it. Credit to the defense, the defensive end from the far side for coming around and hustling and hitting him.
Yeah, that's a tough play for the Wildcats. Looks like now it brings up 4th down and 7 on the 17. Wildcats are going to have to punt from the shadow of the goal line. Deep for the Patriots, number 23, looks like Sean Jackson.
That just sounds like a football player's name.
Yeah, a very good running back from what I understand.
Pearson, snap was very good. Punt even better. Turning over, spiral kick. He outruns the defender, and it's going to be down by the Wildcats, and I'm not sure why. It was still taking an Oak Ridge roll, I thought, but it was going to be down by Isaiah Porter, a senior for the Wildcats. Really good punt. Unlike in past seasons where Oak Ridge has had a specialist do one thing, where a punter, another guy's the place kicker, another guy's kickoff, Eli Pearson is the guy this year. There's no doubt about it. They've got some help behind him, but he is without a doubt their go-to guy, punting, kicking, all of it.
Absolutely. I mean, he turned that ball over, and it looked like it could almost bring rain. It was a really high punt, and you would have thought he got under it, but he didn't. He let it bounce, and when he did, it was nothing but trouble. Excellent field position for the Wildcats. Really, they got them backed up to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Patriots. 8:52 in the second quarter. Wildcats up 17-7.
Quarterback Mason Henderson is going to give off. That's no surprise, and he gives off to Marion Williamson, who's going to gain about 6-7 yards. And, you know, Henderson, we haven't really seen him even look to throw it, and that's the scouting report that we got from the Oak Ridge side of things, was that this is a good team capable of beating Oak Ridge, but in order to do it, they're going to want to slow this game down, speed the game up, rather. What I mean by that is keep the ball on the ground, not throw it a bunch, and that's what we've seen so far. And we're going to see it right here again. This time there's going absolutely nowhere. Zero, zilch is what you're going to get when you run up against number 0, Bashawn Knowles. And actually, he's going to lose some. Knowles was the first there. A couple more Wildcats, I think Dallas Sprint and others joined him. And it's going to be 3rd and 12. And here's the problem. If it's a close game, Jefferson County's strategy is great. People used to do this against the Colts when Peyton Manning was up in Indianapolis. But the moment you get down by 2 or 3 possessions, it gets extremely tough to come back if you are not a legitimate passing threat as a team. And that's what they're in danger of doing here. 3rd down and 9. The Patriots. Handoff. Fake. And he's going to get blessed in the backfield. Bashawn Knowles was there first. And also was Elijah Bradley. That's a 6'3" and 6'4" guy coming at you. You're not going to escape from that in high school football. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 14. Ball on the 33-yard line. They've got no choice, Mike Sheehan, but to bring the punting unit back out again. 7:20 to go in the first half as we dwindle away midway through the second quarter. 7:15 on the clock now, Mike, as the punting unit's back out and Rembert is back deep again. We've had 2 punts. One went 5 yards. The other went about 45 yards. We'll see where this one goes.
Bashawn Knowles has been an absolute beast. I mean, he was in there, and down in his legs, he couldn't, he was trying to get loose, but the Wildcat defense was just way too tough. And Dallas Fred come in and finished him off.
We got to take
the Wildcats backed them up.
We got to take a 30-second timeout here. When we come back, we'll have the punt. No, you're good. Sorry, I didn't expect them to call. So
I didn't either. I was expecting them to go ahead and get started.
All right, as we welcome you back here. Punt is off, barely. Easily their best looking punt of the night. Rembert's going to, he had a chance to field it. I don't know why he didn't, and instead he's going to let it roll down to the 22-yard line. Mike, Rembert could have fielded that at the 30-yard line with some room to run, and you can see him kind of second-guessing himself, and he's mad at himself. And I understand why. Just a little bit of a mental mistake there. But there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, thank you. There was a flag on that play. I don't know exactly what this is all about. They may have to punt that ball again out of it.
I think
I'm not sure.
It's after the play, and what it was, I did not see, unfortunately, the Jefferson County player, but I did see the Oak Ridge Wildcat who the call was on. It was Wayne Gibson who was intertangled with a Jefferson County player, kind of blocking and tussling down the field, really kind of nowhere near the play. And I don't know, it's probably going to be unsportsmanlike on one side or the other. I don't know which side. That's the problem. Who did what first, who did what last? And they're having a rather lengthy discussion at midfield to try to figure that out.
Well, when you got 22 players out on the field, there's a whole lot going on at one time, especially on a punt like that. And the officials are still discussing what the penalty is and who it's on. Here we go.
We need a personal foul
on
Jefferson County. Now, is this after the punt? They're going to call offsetting. No, they're going to call two. I believe the second was an unsportsmanlike on Jefferson County. So they're both. Now they're going to say it's Oak Ridge ball. So instead of re-kicking, they're going to mark off the penalty yards. So instead of Oak Ridge starting at their own 22 yards, they're going to break it up to the 37 because it's a 15-yard penalty. Dead ball foul against, or not dead ball, excuse me, personal foul. And are they going to mark off two penalties? They are. They marked off a 15-yard and then another 15 yards. So Oak Ridge went from 1st and 10, their own 22-yard line, to 32 yards later, 1st and 10 from the Jefferson County 47-yard line. A 30-yard difference in one play. So whatever Wayne Gibson did or did not do, his participation is duly noted for the Wildcats because it helped Oak Ridge get 30 extra yards. Jefferson County does not like it. They want a timeout. We're going to take one with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
That was bizarre. I haven't seen it. I haven't either. I can't remember ever seeing a 30-yard penalty.
To be honest with you, because you got to pick one, right?
I've done a lot of games.
You got to pick which penalty.
I mean, I've done a lot of games. I've never seen a penalty go 30 yards before. On a punt. I'm not sure about that.
Let's talk about that when we get back. As we welcome you back, Mike, we were just talking about it, and if you did hear that advertisement, you're listening by radio, we want to invite you down. Pizza Inn is hosting Crunch Time with Coach Derek Rain Wednesdays this fall. We were both talking about it. Usually if there's multiple penalties, as a coaching staff, you got to pick which one you want to accept. They were both 15-yard penalties, and somehow Oak Ridge got to keep both of them, which admittedly I was a little confused at the moment, but I didn't want to say anything. I was going to let it roll. But then, Mike, when we went to break, you mentioned that you've never seen that either. And maybe that's why Jefferson County's coach called a timeout, was just to get an explanation and kind of get into the ear of the official a little bit, because I don't know if I've ever seen that either. Anyways, Oak Ridge 1st and 10 from the Patriot 47. Solo shotgun. Stansberry fires it over to his running back, who's going to get blasted. I think he got hit about a half a second before that ball got there. The officials disagree, and it was actually Hayward who got blasted, was unable to hang on to the ball, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Stansberry did a great job of getting rid of that ball because they were on him like nobody's tomorrow, right in his face. He let go of the pass just in the nick of time, but the Oak Ridge.
2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. 2 wide receivers. To the right, 2 to the left. Quick pass to the left. Hayward. He can throw it again. He will. He's going to throw it down to Dozier, and it's nearly picked off.
Man.
Good play design, but a really, really headsy play by Jefferson County. It was their defensive back, number 9.
Oh, yeah.
Landon Weatherford, who stuck with it. That's an easy play to get lost on, especially as many eyes as Hayward draws, Mike. Really nice play from Jefferson County.
Yeah, it was. You know, that wasn't really a bad pass by any means. Brendan Hayward threw a good strike, but he was so well covered, and the defender was in front of him and almost intercepted that ball. Oak Ridge got lucky. He didn't intercept it. 3rd and 10, Stansberry from the shotgun. Fake left. He's going to throw it to Hayward. And Hayward just had not turned around. A little bit of a miscommunication. You got a senior and a sophomore. I don't know which one was off, but Hayward, when he threw that, Hayward was not ready for the ball, and it brings up 4th down. Now, an interesting position right here for Coach Rang, and there's no doubt about this. He's going to immediately say, let's keep the unit on. We're going to go for it here. Interesting, you got a chance to pin him back deep, but Rang says, let's go for it. 4th and 10 from the Patriot 47. 3 plays, 0 yards. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Stansberry fires. He's got a man. Rembert, and he's caught it.
An excellent play call, an excellent throw, and an excellent catch. Why would I ever doubt him? Of course you go for it on fourth down if you can do that every time.
Man, I'll tell you, Armenian Rembert got down on his knees and caught that ball just before he went out of bounds, giving Oak Ridge the first down. Oak Ridge leading 17-7, 6:31 here in the second quarter in a very exciting football matchup.
And it's about to get a lot more exciting if Oak Ridge keeps going the direction they're going towards the end zone. Two receivers left. It's Hayward and Presley. Those are your dynamic duo, both big, tall, lanky receivers that are deep threats. Rembert on his own to the right. Knowles in the backfield with Dozier. Snap. Stansbury. He's going to throw deep to Presley, and it's going to be intercepted. His first interception of the year, and then it's fumbled in the end zone, but Jefferson County falls on it, and they will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. He was throwing it to Presley, and as many good throws as he's thrown all game, that was his first bad one. Just let it sail a little bit, didn't get enough on it, and he underthrew it, and it was a nice play. These defensive backs have had a pretty good game for Jefferson County.
Same number 9, Landon Weatherford, caught that ball in the end zone, tried to get out, fumbled the ball, and then Bryson Letterman for the Patriots fell on it, and they got the turnover. So it's going to be first down and 20, or first and 10 on the 20 for the Jefferson County Patriots. 6:23 here left in the second quarter.
As the Patriots come back out, quick turn of possession here. And they will come back out trying to do something. You know, it seems like they should be out of this game, but if you look at the scoreboard, it's just a two-possession game. They're still in it, but they certainly could use a long drive that ended in points if you're a Patriot fan. Play fake, a rare pass. Wide open is the yard line, number 3 and number 0. It hit the 30-yard line, and there wasn't a man within 20 yards any direction. I don't know if he was trying to throw it away, but if I'm Oak Ridge, I'm saying, you know, could I get an intentional grounding? Because I think it was a miscommunication, but, Mike, there was nobody close.
No, there was not. And give credit to Tim Walters. He got his hands up at that time and made him throw that pass errantly. Brings that 2nd and 10 on the 20 for the Patriots.
6:19 to go in the first half. Oak Ridge leading 17-7. Patriots with the ball. Handoff left side. Going past the initial line of scrimmage up for 3 yards is Dallas Williamson. He's not a guy I would want to tackle. He's about 6 foot, about 200 pounds, and he may have eaten a cheeseburger since then. He is a big, strong kid, but's got the ability to move pretty well, and it will bring up 3rd down and a much more manageable 6 yards to go for the Jefferson County Patriots. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. The wide side of the field is the right side. They've also got an H-back that direction as well as a blocker or a pass-catching receiver if need be. Oak Ridge in their nickel defense. Quarterback dries his hands, play action fake, looking left the whole time. Now he's got nowhere to go. Tim Walters chasing. He can't get there in time. He's got to pick up a first down. A nice scramble. Didn't look real comfortable doing it, but Jefferson County's quarterback gets up past the first down markers. He needed 6. He got 8, and that will be a first down and 10 yards to go for the Patriots.
Yeah, safety Easy Mitchell had to come up and make the stop. A good scramble by the quarterback for the Patriots. It brings that 1st and 10 on the 36.
The easy call this time is right before the ball was snapped. There's a false start on the offense. The big left tackle looked like he was pulling towards the right side, and sometimes when you're one of the big guys up front, you need as much help as you can get getting across the field on a stretch play like that, and unfortunately he did not wait long enough. And so 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards that time as they get a first down, the first one they've gotten in what seems like about a quarter, and they immediately get penalized, and so it will be 1st and 15 yards to go for the Jefferson County Patriots on their own 31-yard line. 5:09 to go in the second quarter. Play action fake, pass out to the left side, and just boinks off the hands of Williams, a running back.
Dallas Williamson, that pass hit him right in the hands, Alec. Dallas should have had that catch, but for whatever reason, he dropped it. Now it brings up 2nd down, and 15 now for the Patriots from their 31-yard line.
Mason Henderson and his offensive skill position crew looking to the sideline, trying to figure out what the call is. They get it in. 2 receivers right, 2 backs to either hip. He's going to have to pass it. Same play, and this time it goes exactly nowhere. Maybe a half a yard, I guess. They hit Williamson out of the backfield again. That time it was a little more of an intentional screen pass, but Oak Ridge was right there. Mike, did you see who was there to make the tackle? It was a great play from
I
the
think
Oak
if
Ridge
Brandon
back.
Hayward made that stop, and there was several people there along with Bashan Knowles. Knowles seems to be everywhere tonight, but he was right there on that play also. So Hayward and Knowles on the stop there for the Wildcats.
3rd and 14 from their own 32-yard line. Patriots with the ball, 4:26 to go here in the second quarter. Crowd standing up, cheering for the Wildcats, trying to get a 3rd down stop. Pressure early. Quarterback's got nothing to do with it, so he just throws it across the middle, dangerously deflected. Oak Ridge's sprint nearly came out of there with an interception. Instead, it falls harmlessly to the ground, and it brings up another 4th down. Oak Ridge, as you start to look at this clock, the clock is stopped. There's 4:16 to go here. You're going to get this ball back with just over 4 minutes to go with an offense that's proven that you've got big, quick strike capability. Theoretically, if you're Coach Rang, you'd love to milk this clock down, make this your last possession, and get more points before half. But it all starts here. Rimbert back deep to receive. Jefferson County's punt. Punt is off. It's a high, spiraling, wobbling kick. It's going to be caught and then immediately dropped. Rimbert dropped it. He got blasted. And
I think Jefferson County recovered it.
Rimbert looks like he is hurt, and Jefferson County absolutely recovered it, but I'm more worried about Rimbert. He took a shot, and thankfully he looks like he's going to be okay. Rimbert looked a little squirrely after that. He took a big shot. He was so focused on the ball, and it wasn't an ill-willed cheap shot. It was just a football play, and he took a really tough hit, but ultimately
he fielded the ball right into his shoulder pads, on the front of his shoulder pads, and it bounced right off. And then the Jefferson County was able to recover it. Good coverage that time by the Jefferson County Patriots.
And now
now they're back in business.
And this defense that thought they got a break, they're now sort of hands on their hips. They were just out there. So all of a sudden you think this running game from Jefferson County might see tired hands on hips, tired legs. Maybe they try to go back to the ground. Instead, they'll pass it.
No.
And that was a mistake because they'll never get the pass off with big Elijah back there. Elijah Bradley with the sack 5 yards deep in the backfield, and it'll be 2nd and 15 way back at the Patriot 46-yard line. 3:50 to go now as you start to keep one eye on the field, one eye on the clock. Jefferson County trailing 17-10. They're going to call it 2nd and 14 to go from the 46-yard line. 2 receivers right. They're going to hand off up the middle just to the left side, and there's Amarian Mills. He's a good-looking running back. You hadn't given him the ball in a while, and high tide they do. As he gets it up, a much more manageable 3rd and medium. They'll call it 3rd and 7 here with 3:19 to go in the first half. Oak Ridge up by 10, 17-7 your score. Oak Ridge has scored 17 unanswered here in this ball game. Quarterback, hands off, right side. There's Williamson. Williamson, it's about 3 yards, and he needed about 6 or 7 to get there. So this will bring up 4th down and a long 4 in plus territory at the Oak Ridge Wildcat 35-yard line. I think, Mike, this is a situation where, without question, they're not even hesitating. They're going to keep the offense on the field. Oak Ridge is going to make a quick substitution. Into the ball game comes Hayden Malcody, the senior for the Wildcats, one of the many on the field tonight. As we got under 2:40 to go here in the opening half of football. In the second quarter, it's 4th and 3 from the 35-yard line of Oak Ridge. Jefferson County with the ball, trying to score their first touchdown since the opening minutes of this game. I think they're going to let it wind down, and looking at Jefferson County's coach, he's going to let this thing run under 3 seconds, and he's going to call a timeout. 3 play clocks at 2, and that's what they're going to do. We're going to take one with them. Let's take a 60-second timeout, and we'll be back after this.
I tell you, this J.T. Gormley, he's made 2 good stops already.
He's a sophomore, right?
He made that just now. He made that last stop. I thought he was going to get big yardage. No. J.T. put a stopper on him.
back to Blankenship Field. A pivotal 4th and 3 coming up. Jefferson County trailing 17-7 as we are 2:19 away from halftime. Coming up on the halftime, we'll have stats and more on the Madison Insurance Group halftime show. 4th down, 3 to go. The crowd's up. They're standing at their feet as a student section. Here comes a direct snap. It's a Wildcat to Williamson. He's going to need 3, and he only gets 2. Oak Ridge will take over possession unless this is just a horrible spot. Unless it's a horrible spot. Oak Ridge, I'm looking at the line judge, and he's standing clearly short. They just haven't signaled it yet.
It's going to be Oak Ridge's ball. I'm almost positive of that.
They're going to measure
that ball's
this.
Short. Oh, no.
They're 5 yards away from the sideline, and he's 3 feet short. It's not even I mean, he's almost a full 3 feet, a whole yard short.
Yeah, he is.
And they're 5 feet away from the sideline. Why are we measuring this?
They're giving everybody a break. That's all I can think of.
Well, they need to give me a break
breath.
with this, Mike, because, I mean, my goodness, this is not even close.
No, it's not.
I mean, Oak Ridge's team's already got their offense ready to come onto the field. I mean, Jefferson County doesn't even think that this is close. It's not. And there it is. There we got the measurement. So Oak Ridge will get the ball back. It will be 1st and 10 Wildcats with 2:11 on the clock. Wildcats have 1 timeout remaining, 2 minutes and 11 seconds to get points. They're up 17-7, and they will start this possession on their own 33-yard line. Mike, what do you do if you're Rain? You trust the pass game? You've seen a lot of that you liked out of your sophomore quarterback.
I don't know. I like the way that Derek Rain calls these plays. I think they're going to go for it, Alec. There's nothing slouchy about this team. They're ready to go.
2 wideouts left.
They've got the talent to do it with.
2 wideouts left, 2 wideouts right. The left stride is a strong side as the ball is on the right hash mark. Lots of room to the home sideline as Blaine Stansberry makes a couple checks, signals to a man in motion. That's Hayward. Hayward runs right to left. Now you got 3 men over there. They set up the screen for Presley. Nowhere to go with it. There's going to be a holding call as Stansberry takes off. He's got a kind of an underrated scrambler as he gets enough for the 1st down, but unfortunately it's not going to count as there was a hold in the backfield. It could have been a block in the back, but regardless, it was an easy call for the official.
Yeah.
As Stansberry shows, though, he's got the ability to run.
Well, he definitely does. He made a great decision that time. He got outside the initial tackles, and then he saw a great big hole. He took off running, but one of the linemen had already held one of the Jefferson Patriots' interior linemen. So it was negated. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, now we're backed up. With 2:01 left, Oak Ridge up 17-7 here in the second quarter. This halftime's coming up quick.
2:01 to go here. Oak Ridge again with 1 timeout left. Jefferson County does not have a timeout. They cannot stop the clock. 1st and 20. Blaine gets a snap, handoff left side Dozier. He's got good blocking from the wideouts on the left side. And he's going to break a tackle up past the 35 to the 36 before he's driven out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And what looked like 1st and 20 turns into 2nd and 7. And all of a sudden, you look at Coach Ring, and it's like, wait a second, we're back in business. Back to the grind. Let's go get some points.
That was a really powerful run that time by Dozier. He really knocked 2 people backwards and then spun out of it and ran up the field for another 7 or 8 yards. He's moving down a 2nd down and 6. With 1:48 left here in the first half.
Clock is stopped as Dozier wisely spun and he fought for yards, but he got out of bounds. 1:48 to go. 2nd and 7. Blaine's got 2 wideouts left, 2 to the right, and Dozier on his hip to the right in the shotgun formation. Henderson comes left to right in motion. Going towards the line of scrimmage as it snapped, and he's going to throw deep. Stansberry deep for Presley. One-on-one coverage. He comes down there with it. He just lost the guy. He comes down there. Whoa, no, they're going to call him out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. That had to be millimeters because he made a fantastic catch, and that's what you can do with guys that are 6'1", 6'2", like Presley on the outside. You can throw up jump balls. Was it Stansberry's greatest pass he's ever thrown? No, but that's what guys like that on the outside give you. I think of a Ravel Coffey back in the day, a T. Higgins. You just give them chances, and more times than not, you can trust those guys to come down with it. He did, but unfortunately, the official says his feet were out of bounds.
Will Presley made a tremendous effort to get back to that ball. He had to come back to get it, and he had literally fought the defender for the ball, and it just didn't work out. What a disappointment for Will.
3rd down and 7, ball at the Oak Ridge 36. Stansberry in there, commanding Dozier where to stand and line up. 1:39 on the clock. Snap. Catch is made by Hayward. Makes one man miss. Across to the 39-yard line. Unfortunately, needed to get up to 43. So Oak Ridge, there's good and bad there. The bad is obviously they didn't get the first down, but the good is it was a completion. The clock's running. Jefferson County can't stop this clock. So if you're Oak Ridge, you've got 35 seconds on the clock. You don't have to snap this thing till well under a minute. However, Oak Ridge, trusting their offense, maybe this is gamesmanship, they're out there on 4th down. And they drew him offside. They drew him offside. It's a hard count from the sophomore. A great hard count, great discipline from Oak Ridge's offensive line. They did not react. The man came across the line. You just got to be, you got to be more heads up tonight for Jefferson County.
Emmett Newman, he's going to regret that for a long time. He definitely jumped offside, no doubt about it, giving Oak Ridge that badly needed first down. With a minute 10 left, we still got new life now, Alec.
And about 20 seconds left on the play clock. Smart to go ahead and try to fake them there, because if you waited, you just cost yourself 20 seconds. So clock starts, though. It's now running. I'm not sure Oak Ridge is aware. 1:05 and counting. Play is finally snapped. Stansbury looking left. He's got Rimbert, and he just missed him high. You missed him high. The throw was there. Unfortunately, one of the rare misses we've seen from the young sophomore making his first start. Mike, it's been a very impressive start, which we expected from Stansbury, but I'm not sure if anybody expected him, maybe after the Jamboree where he went 9 for 10 in 1 quarter of play with 2 touchdowns. I mean, you weren't going to replicate that. But this is about, he had 1 interception, but but other than that, he's pretty much played almost a flawless ball game.
Yes, he has.
2nd and 10, clock is stopped, 57.4 seconds to go. Ball on the left hash and at the 45-yard line. 2nd and 10, Stansbury gets a snap, pressure up front. He's going to dodge that and throw an interception as his arm got hit as he was throwing it. He tried to go deep. He had a man running down the sideline, but he got hit right as he threw the ball, and unfortunately his arm got hit and the ball sort of sputtered up in the air just high enough and long enough for, I believe it was number 15, or no, it was Dallas Williamson, the running back, that was playing linebacker, to come down with it. That's just an unfortunate play, and he made one man miss. Dozier tried to pick up the blitzer, but there was 2 men coming and only 1 guy there to pick up the blitz.
Actually, Williamson, the one that broke up the pass, and it was one of the linebackers that intercepted the pass. But, with 52 seconds left, 1st and 10 for the Patriots on the Oak Ridge 48.
So, will they go to the passing game? They will. They're going to look right all the way. Little hitch route. That's the 40-yard line, and it goes through the hands of the receivers. This quarterback is not looked up to par with Stansbury's game so far, but I will say this. Stansbury's receivers have made more plays. Jefferson County's had several balls go through their hands. He's not getting a lot of help out there as this quarterback.
That Dustin Roberts on that reception, ball went right through his hand.
2nd and 10, 47 ticks left on the clock before halftime. Fast, quick first quarter has turned into a lengthy second quarter. They're going to run the ball from midfield and get about 2 yards there, and I don't understand that call. I guess you don't want Oak Ridge to stop the clock if you throw an incompletion there, but you're essentially conceding points by running that football there.
Exactly.
You don't have a timeout. I don't. To me, that's almost a coaching scared call offensively.
I think so too. Elijah Bradley there on the stop for the Wildcats.
You're in plus territory. I mean, at least throw something. Try to set yourself up for a Hail Mary, and we'll see if they do that here. 14 seconds to go, 13-12. Bobbles a snap, ball's on the ground. Jefferson County falls on it, and it will be 4th and 13 from their from the Oak Ridge 47-yard line. Derek Rang says, that's enough for my first half of football at Oak Ridge. I'm not going to call a timeout. We'll walk up the steps and take it to halftime. 17-7 the score. A wild, rough first quarter turned into some highlights and sparks and fireworks on the scoreboard. 17-7 your score as we go to halftime. Oak Ridge leads Jefferson County. We'll take a 3-minute timeout and be back with your Madison Insurance Group halftime show. We got to leave these on like that.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. This is the Wild Man, Mike Sheehan. Oak Ridge up 17-7 here at the half. I'm going to go over the scoring summary real quick. Start the game off very, very exciting first quarter for both the Wildcats and the Jefferson County Patriots. As the game started with Riker Arms fumbling the opening kickoff on the Oak Ridge 25-yard line, somebody really hit him hard right on the football, knocking the ball loose. The Patriots recovered on the 25. 4 plays later, Marion Mills with Jefferson County Patriots ran it in from 5 yards out, and just like that, the Patriots went up 6-0. Then Luke Haston, the extra point kicker for the Patriots, kicked it between the uprights, and they led 7-0 with a very shocked Oak Ridge team. Well, then Oak Ridge, with 4 minutes and 58 seconds left in the first quarter, Oak Ridge drove down to the 10-yard line, stalled out. Eli Preston, impressive kicker for the Wildcats, came in and kicked a 10-yard field goal, put the Wildcats on the board 3-7. And then with 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first quarter, Armani Rimbert caught a 45-yard touchdown pass from Blaine Stansberry, Blaine's first touchdown throw of the year for the sophomore, put the Wildcats on the board now, 6-7. Preston came in and kicked the extra point. The Wildcats tied up 7-7. And then with 4 minutes and 32 seconds left, there was a 32-yard interception by the Wildcats. Deshaun Knowles, he ran the ball back into the end zone, put the Wildcats up 16-7. And then the Wildcats kicked the extra point. It was good by Eli Preston, and the Wildcats went up 17-7. And then they just battled each other head, tooth, and nail all the way in the second quarter, neither team being able to score. And what an exciting first half we've had here at Blankenship Field. Wildcats up 17-7.
You're listening to Mike Sheehan, Alex Myers on the Madison Insurance Group halftime show live from Blankenship Field. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll be back with halftime stats with Mark and Shauna Haste. Welcome you back as we get ready for Mark Case's halftime stats. I've got a special guest here, a former Wildcat that is in the building. One of the greatest Wildcats to ever play on this field, mentioned with the Bohannons, the Jackie Popes of the world. Dozier is a great running back, but he's one in a long line of great running backs, and one of the greatest. We're graced with his presence up here right now, Spencer Goldmeyer. Spencer, you've coached at Oak Ridge, you've played at Oak Ridge. This is the first time you've seen the Wildcats any of us have under Coach Rang. What are your thoughts one half in?
So far, very impressive. I think they play hard, they get after it, and as you said, running back for Oak Ridge, I mean, he runs the ball very hard. Really impressed with, I don't know his name, I think his last name is Nall, number 0. Really gets after it and very athletic.
Now, David Cleary is going to take a lot. You know, his mom calls him Doughboy, but we call him Bashan. He's a member of our crew during basketball season, as I know you used to help David Cleary out. And another famous former Wildcat is in the building. Matt McMahon is in town. He's the head coach of the LSU Tigers, from the basketball team. So a lot of Wildcats back. It's great to see you, Spencer, and you've got an open seat anytime you want to come over here and take mine. People would rather hear from you, and I'd rather listen to you than myself anyway.
Oh, it's great to be back, and it's just good to see everybody, and expected David to be here, but y'all are a lot prettier to look at, so it's probably a good thing he's not.
Well, just real quick before we let you go and get stats in here, what are you up to? Tell people. I know it's been a few years since you've been on the sideline. How's the family? What have you been up to?
Doing good. Just busy with the kids and sports. We got one that's playing high school golf at Kingston. They've won the state championship the last 2 years. And then my daughter, she's keeping me busy with a little bit of everything. She plays about every sport there is. So trying to get her to calm down a little bit. But other than that, just I still work here in Oak Ridge. Been at Tennessee Tool and Engineering for about 11 years now. So.
Well, hey, thank you so much, Spencer. Thanks for taking us time, and we'll make sure and give Dave a hard time. We always do. So, Mark Hayes is just about ready. Mark, do you need just a moment, or are you good? As you hear the tones of the Wild Band in the background, as Mark Hayes is making his way towards the booth.
I don't know about that. A lot better than mine.
And
Mark's going to sit there.
here's Mark. He's got his laptop here. And, Mark, I'll let you take the mic that's next to Mike Sheehan, and I will let you throw it to a 3-minute break whenever you're done.
Thank you very much, Alex. Apologize for this. I do not have the correct roster for Jefferson County, so I was trying to fix that, so I'll just go over their numbers. First for Oak Ridge led on the ground by Dozier. He has 3 carries for 19 yards. His long tonight was 14. Alamani Rimbert has a carry for -1 yard, and then Blaine Stansberry 3 carries for -10 yards. Passing tonight, Oak Ridge, Blaine Stansberry, starting quarterback for the Wildcats. He's 10 of 19 for 135 yards. He does have 2 interceptions on the night. Brandon Hayward, he had a pass attempt that was no good, so he's 0 of 1. So as a team, the Wildcats are 10 of 20 for 135 yards with 2 interceptions. Rushing, as a team, they rushed the ball 7 times, totaling 8 yards on the ground. Passing, as I said, 10 for 20 for 135 yards. So the bulk of the offense for the Wildcats is obviously through the air. Receiving for the Wildcats are led by number 3, Alamani Rimbert. He has 3 receptions for 67 yards. Brandon Hayward, 4 receptions for 60 yards. Jovis Dozier has 2 receptions for 6 yards, and Will Presley has a 2-yard reception. Wildcats have earned 5 first downs in the first half. They've been penalized 4 times for 40 yards. Their total offense tonight, they have, as I said, 8 yards on the ground on 7 carries. They have 135 yards on 10 receptions. They have a total offense in the first half of 143 yards. Now looking at Jefferson County, for them, number 4 has done the bulk of their running. That's Wayne Gibson. He has 11 carries for 22 yards. Number 7 for them, that's Valon Henderson. 5 carries for 15 yards. Number 3 for Jefferson County. Let's see who that is.
Skylar Thomas.
Skylar Thomas. He has 2 carries for 6 yards. Number 23, 2 carries for 1 yard. And number 12, the quarterback, Henderson, I believe, has 4 carries for a netting -1 yards. As a team, Jefferson County has rushed the ball 24 times, earning 43 yards on the ground. That's an average of 1.8 yards per carry. The quarterback for Jefferson County, number 12, that's Mason Henderson. He's 3 of 9 for 15 yards. He has 1 interception on the night. Receiving for the Patriots, number 7 has 2 receptions for 8 yards. Number 7, that's Dallas Williamson. And number 2 has a 7-yard reception, and that is Bryson Letterman. So as a team, Jefferson County has 43 yards on the ground on 24 carries, 15 yards through the air on 3 receptions, for a total offense tonight of 58 yards. They've earned 3 first downs, penalized 6 times for 56 yards. So look at the teams side by side. Rushing, Oak Ridge has 8 yards. Jefferson County, 43. Receiving yards, Oak Ridge with 135. Jefferson County, 15. Total offense, Oak Ridge has 143 total offensive yards in the first half. Jefferson County, 58. First downs, Oak Ridge has 5. Jefferson County has 3. Penalties, Oak Ridge has 4 penalties for 40 yards. Jefferson County, 6 penalties for 56 yards. Again, this is Mark Hayes, where we are at halftime at Blankenship Field for the home opener for the Mighty Wildcats. As the Mighty Wildcats are on top of Jefferson County by a score of 17-7, and we'll be back after this 3-minute timeout.
Great job, Mark. Thank you.
But as cool as we can expect for the first game of the year. We got a heater. We don't have AC, so that's the closest thing we have.
You're doing great, man. I knew it.
You guys are helping a bunch.
Yeah, we.
Not totally, no.
I thought I saw something.
Yeah. Yep.
There it is.
You want to read it or me?
You go ahead. I just feel like we need to talk about it.
Good call. I didn't want to mess anything up, so I told Sean, I was like, the problem is, I'm going to have to remember to cheat. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors for not only tonight's broadcast, but for helping us out through the season. Again, without you listeners and without these sponsors, we ask that you patronize and help these local businesses. Without them, we would not be able to get on the air and do what we do. So thank you and thank them. Todd Fox and the Fox Insurance Group, the Oak Ridge Utility District, Oak Ridge High School Class of '89, sponsoring every touchdown this year. Pizza Inn of Oak Ridge, where the Wildcats and Coach Rang will be this Wednesday night for the Wednesday Coaches Show Crunch Time with Derek Rang. Tennessee Orthopedic Clinics, TK Wheeler Jewelers, Dr. William Linehan, DDS, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, the Oak Ridge Football Boosters Club. Madison Insurance Group, whose halftime show you're listening to now, Mortgage Investors Group, Donnie Sharp with East Tennessee Spine and Sport, the Old Town Inn, Tin Bank of Oak Ridge, Cook's Comfort Systems, Oak Ridge Pharmacy, OBGYN Associates of Oak Ridge, Tracy Larrabee CPA, Betsy Coleman Realty, John Burgess DDS, MacArthur Animal Hospital, a long-time sponsor with Prep Radio, Nathan Miser with Shelter Insurance, Ortho Tennessee, and the Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic, the Jackson Square Barbershop, where David Clary gets his haircut, and Jim Norman, attorney at law with Joyce, Meredith, Flitcroft, and Norman, PLLC, and JMFN Title Services. Thank you to all those sponsors. Mike, I did a little game last year. It was frustrating at first, but then it became sort of dark humor comedy. At no point, not a single game, the 20-minute time allotted for halftime, did they ever start without adding more time. Both teams are on the field. There's 10 seconds to go. They're not going to start on time, quote-unquote, but will they add more? They stop it at 9 seconds, and they've added 3. David Clary producing. They've done it again. They've done it again, my friend. I want to give a second to say thank you also to our crew members. We're going to thank them when we return. But let's take a 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll return to wrap things up. This has been the Madison Insurance Group halftime show, their first of the year. We thank them for coming on with us, whether it's business or personal needs, home, auto, they've got you covered. Again, Madison Insurance Group halftime show. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Retired today.
You finally? Thank goodness. Good for you.
Yeah, I had to. I got too many health issues.
Yeah, I started this morning about 5:15, not working.
You know what I told you? My wife. Well, I told you my wife.
Yeah, when she said you can retire, I don't think
she said I could retire 6 months after I'm dead. That's what she told me.
We got to bring home that bacon, Mike.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's cool seeing Spencer up here. I hadn't seen him in a few years. Man,
I know he looked good.
He
looked tan and healthy.
He's my favorite football player.
Oh, yeah.
In person. T's up there. There's a bunch of them.
Him and Sean Summers are 2 of my favorite players.
But just watch that Farragut run. I mean, it's like
when he carried that.
I can still see
the coach's son. That was the coach's son.
I can tell you where I was. I mean, I was standing right there on that against the wall right here.
Oh, were you really?
Standing right underneath this booth.
Man, he drug him 20 yards. I never
20 yards.
He just
holding on. Coach's son, that was the best part of it.
Oh yeah, that was tremendous. And that was Farragut's coach's son. He was
Courtney
carrying on his back. That was a tremendous ball game.
Welcome back to our production. It's Prep Radio. You're listening to us one of a few ways. You can listen to us on prepradio.com worldwide. You can also stream us worldwide on youtube.com. Just go to YouTube and search Prep Radio. Come up with videos, Dave's channel, as well as the live stream of the moment, whether that's now or basketball season or wherever. And you also listen to us on FM 92.7. Mike, your final thoughts before we get set to kick off. Oak Ridge will kick off this half.
Well, I'm just really pleased with the start. You know, the Wildcats really came back after that disappointing fumble and dominated, really, Jefferson in the first quarter. They scored 17 unanswered points to go up 17-7, and then each team battled back and forth during the second quarter. Nobody scored. There's still anybody's game. This is going to be an outstanding football season for the Wildcats as Eli Preston is set to kick off here in the second half of the Wildcats Jefferson County Patriots 2023 start of the season.
Thank you, Mike. Confetti goes up in the student section, and the ball gets kicked all the way to the half-yard line, where it's returned by Jefferson County out to about the 26-yard line, and that's where the Patriots will take over. First and 10 from their 26, 8 seconds into this third quarter. I want to thank our cameramen, John Ulrich, Josh Frazier, Ben George, and Kaysen Robinson. Kaysen doing a great job. I think John as well. Both of them, it's their first time ever helping us with the camera crew, so we appreciate them. Again, the highlights you see on the shows, the highlights these kids get on their films at the end of the year, those don't happen without these sort of thankless hours that these, a lot of times, high school students and others help out and participate in. So you're on YouTube. We are aware of the picture situation. We are working to fix it, maybe potentially at one of the next timeouts. First and 10 for Jefferson County. Rolling to the right is the quarterback. Pass was high, but it's going to be hauled in by the receiver, and it's going to be hauled in about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And again, not a lot of downfield passing tonight from Jefferson County, as Jaden Jackson was the 5'8" athlete / defensive back that caught that one. Mike, Jefferson County, I mean, you just got a feeling that if Oak Ridge can just get one more score and make this a 3-possession game, you have to think it'd be almost impossible for the Patriots to come back.
The way they're playing, especially, they're playing more run than they are pass. Oak Ridge is doing about 55 run, 45 pass, and doing a much better job as all their offense mostly was generated from the pass, with 10 completions for 135 yards by Oak Ridge's quarterback, Blaine Stansberry. And there's going to be a timeout on the field as Jefferson County, a little bit confused on that play, took a timeout.
Let's take a 60-second timeout, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Our YouTube problem momentarily seems to be fixed. Thank you for those who let us know. It is 2nd and 12, 11:01 to go, 59 seconds into this second half. Handoff up the middle for Jefferson County, and they're going to get all of about 2 yards and make it 3rd and 9. It looked like Roberts on the carry, and Oak Ridge is going to make a couple substitutions, and coming out of the game for Oak Ridge is J.T. Gormley, who helped make that tackle. Mike, we were talking about him, another sophomore on this team. He's having a heck of a game.
He's been a scrapper tonight. He's made 3 really good tackles on Noah.
3rd down, long quarterback's going to have to run, and he's going to get blasted by Bashawn Knowles, who stands over him and just says, no, sir, not on my home turf. It's going to be time to bring out the punt team again, as that time he pretty much just got back to the line of scrimmage before Bashawn Knowles lowered the boom.
He was one step away from getting a really good run, but Deshaun just came in and blasted him. Knowles is playing lights out tonight.
4th down with 10:02 to go in the third quarter. Just a couple of minutes into this one, Oak Ridge gets a man onto the field late and nearly blocked the punt. They've been very, very close several times. Hayward's back there instead of Dozier, but the ball runs around, and I don't know why, but Oak Ridge player dives on the ball. It wasn't a live ball. Maybe he thought it got touched. But regardless, maybe he ended up saving Oak Ridge a yard or two. The ball and the Wildcats will take over on their own 27-yard line. 1st and 10 with 9:50 to play.
Yeah, Jamichael Howard there on the recovery for the Wildcats, the dead in the ball. Wildcats are going to take over first down and 10 on their own 26-yard line. 9:50 left here in the third quarter. Wildcats up 17-7.
And I do want to apologize to Mr. Henderson's family. I was incorrectly pronouncing the name. He's a freshman. But it is Valen Henderson playing wideout and defensive back, starting as a freshman tonight for Oak Ridge. First and 10. Throw right side. Hayward makes a man miss. Across the 35, down to the 40, and to the 41-yard line where he is nestled down. And that's going to be a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. Just like that, across the chains, and Oak Ridge's offense starting to feel a little more rhythmic, kind of like a blues artist. Short play, long play. Short play, just keeping the defense off balance, Mike.
Exactly. Good blocking up front by the Wildcats to give Stansbury time to throw the ball that time, and Blaine zipped one right in there.
First down and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Nearly got off sides of the defense, but instead it's a quick screen out to the left, a little bubble screen out to Will Presley, who's going to get ahead across the 45 for a gain of 6 down to the 46-yard line. And Presley with a nice block over there. It looked like Izzy Mitchell helped spring him along with Brandon Hayward. Jaden Jackson on the tackle. Thank you, Mike, for pointing that out. And Dozier back in the backfield for Oak Ridge. 2 split to the left, 2 wide outs split to the right. Rimbert, Hayward, Mitchell, and Presley, the wide outs. Dozier in the backfield alongside of Stansbury. Coming in motion was a wide receiver. They're going to give it off left side to Dozier. Dozier bulldozing his way across the first down and down into enemy territory, down to the 47-yard line as a new platoon, almost a hockey-style substitution comes for the defensive line unit onto the field of Jefferson County. And boy, they need it, because even though it's early, it looks like Oak Ridge is got more energy, got a little bit better conditioning right now.
And doing good line job pushing the defenders back and giving Stansbury time to deliver the ball to the receivers. Oak Ridge marching down the field progressively right now. They're on the Jefferson County 48 now.
First and 10, 8:08 to play in the third quarter. Stansbury give up the middle to Dozier. He's going to try to make a man miss, and there's just nowhere to go. Tackled quite literally by a host of Patriots, and he's going to struggle to get past, well, we'll say 2 yards. So it'll bring up 2nd and 8 with 7:50 to go as the clock continues to run here. Presley and another sophomore for Oak Ridge, Jarrell Jefferson on the right side. Hayward and the ever so elusive and talented Rimbert stay left. They're on the near side half. The left half is going to quick screen out to Hayward. Ooh, makes a man miss. Could he make another one? No, but he does bowl him over, get up near first down territory inside the 40-yard line. Well, they're going to call it in about the 40. We'll call it the 40-yard line. And he needed to get to the 38 for a first down. So it's third down and a manageable 2. And, Mike, interesting as a play caller for Derek Rang in his first game here at Oak Ridge, you got to think this is 4-down territory based off how he's called this game prior.
I'd say you're absolutely right. It's 3rd and short. Like they say 3rd and 3. It's 3rd and a short 3. Brandon Griffin there on the stop for the Patriots.
Oak Ridge has been out of the shotgun formation all game long. They will be in it once again on this third down play. Handoff, Dozier splits the defender, gets past the 35, down to the 30, down to the 25, 20. He continues to turn and churn, and finally he's brought down at the 19-yard line in Patriots territory, and that's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down, and that's a Wildcat red zone trip for this offense.
I tell you, that was an impressive run. He was so determined that time. He got good body leverage, got good pad leverage, and just kept driving his leg, went down and put the Oak Ridge inside Jefferson County territory at the 19, 1st and 10 on the 20.
With 6:20 to play here in the third quarter, Presley barking out orders to his right side of his offensive line. Snap, looking left the whole time. Avoids a pass rush, looking to run. Can he do anything with it? Tries to make a defender miss, makes 2 miss, and then dives across the 20-yard line. Somehow, he should have gotten sacked about 3 or 4 times, and it's hard to brag and say a 1-yard gain's a highlight, but if there ever was one, that was it.
Man, he made 2. His feet are so quick. You know, he was dancing out there and making the other team miss. I mean, they had a hold of him, but he got loose for a 1-yard gain. Great play by Blaine Stansbury.
And this is territory with a quick option to one of several playmakers on the field. Rimbert, Hayward's in the slot. Dozier split out as a wideout as well. Dozier's going to block for Hayward. Pass goes out to him. He catches it behind the line of scrimmage at the 21, and he's going to be wrestled down. They're going to call it at the 20. I mean, he landed at the 18, but somehow I don't know if they stopped forward progress before he stopped falling forward, but they're going to call him down at the 20 somehow.
That
and
was
it's going
a
to be
well-defended play that time by Jefferson County, actually.
They
got right over there on him as soon as he made that pass for no gain. Now it brings up 3rd and 10 on the 20. Wildcats up 17-7.
5:35 to go in this third quarter. Again, Wildcats up 17-7. Driving, but it's starting to stall here deep in Patriot territory at the 20-yard line, and Derek Rang's going to call a timeout. Let's take one with him. We'll be back in 30 seconds. See if Oak Ridge can cap off this drive with points.
Jefferson County's made some adjustments of some kind. They're sniffing Oak Ridge's plays out.
I think they're playing up. They're not. Oak Ridge was getting 5-7 yards of space. I think they were afraid to get beat deep, so Oak Ridge was just hitting them with quick stuff.
Right.
They're not letting them get that. And as much as Oak Ridge has looked good driving the ball, Jefferson County defensive line for the most part has played pretty well, especially in the pass. And they've been after.
Yeah, they have.
We thank the Fox Insurance Group for sponsoring our broadcast again this year. And a moment ago, there was another 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down, as both teams are getting ready to get out of the huddle with 5:22 to go here in the third quarter. Oak Ridge driving, but it's 3rd down and long. It's 3rd and 10, ball on the 20-yard line here in the third quarter. Oak Ridge driving, trying to get points, trying to make this a 3-possession game. Even a field goal would be better than nothing, but with a 10-point lead, a touchdown would make it a 3-possession game. And as we've seen with Jefferson County's offense, that would probably be hard to, I don't want to say insurmountable, but it would be tough. 3rd down, snap. Everybody, the whole city's rolling left for Blaine. He's going to throw out to Hayward, who catches it. Does he have the first down? I don't think he does. He's very, very close. They're going to spot him about an inch shy of the 10-yard line, and it looks like the marker, the yard to gain, was right at the 10, so it's going to be 4th down, but it can't be by more than a foot. And they're not even going to bring the measurements out. They did earlier when it's 5 yards away, and now it's on the opposite sideline, and they're not. But Oak Ridge, that's fine with them. They're trying to quick snap it and draw them off sides to no avail. Coach Rang now is going to signal in the new play call, and Oak Ridge's offense adjusts. Dozier flips from the left to the right hip of Stansberry. 10 seconds with the play clock, gives it to Dozier. He has to run backwards before he can run forward, and he doesn't get it. There was great penetration from the right side of that defensive line for the Patriots, and it caused Dozier to have to start his motion by running backwards, and it was just enough hesitation to make a difference, Mike.
Good penetration by the defensive end of the Patriots that time, and they stopped them right there on the 11-yard line. What a disappointing run that was for Dozier. It's just like he couldn't get outside quick enough, and they adjusted, and Jefferson County made the stop, and that turned the ball over. Now they're going to take over on their own 11-yard line. 1st and 10 with 5:04 left here in the third quarter. Oak Ridge up 17-7.
Here comes Jefferson County. At some point, they're going to have to score to get back into this game. Only down 10, 2 possessions, but it's not going to happen when things like that happen. What happened? Well, you just heard whistles. The ball wasn't even snapped. I look at the play clock. It is already run out after a turnover. That's some of the stuff, Mike, that Oak Ridge dealt with last year, is delay of games coming off of turnovers, coming out of huddles, and that's unacceptable. Now, in the first game, it really is never acceptable, but it's a little more understandable. But unfortunately, backed up in your own territory, it's a terrible time to do it for Jefferson County. They're going to get that 5 back almost. It's about a 4.5-yard gain that time by Amarian Mills. Good looking back, as we've seen. It's going to be 2nd and, well, they'll call it 2nd and 10, so we'll give them 5 yards on that gain. Makes up for the penalty, but they lost a down doing it. 2 backs in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to one of them, the bruiser back, Williamson, and he's going to battle forward for maybe 2 yards. great job on the interior line of Oak Ridge, their defensive line tonight. Tim Walters, we haven't called his name individually, but he's still made a difference, impacting plays, soaking up blockers. Walters, Malik Howard, Elijah Bradley, Bryce Dorsey, Grumley, Knowles, those guys up front in that front six, that front seven have really made an impact here, especially after that opening drive for Jefferson County. 3rd and 9 here to go. 4:08 to go in the third quarter. It's going to be a pass. He's looking left. Quarterback's looking left. And it's going to nearly be intercepted by Hayward. And he's mad at himself. He almost had it. And unfortunately, it went through his hands. And this is not good. This is not good. Brandon Hayward, he got in front of the wide receiver. And the wide receiver essentially tried to play defense and brought him down. And it looked like he got twisted and turned a little bit. Hayward's in some pain. We're going to take a 60-second timeout, maybe say a thought and a prayer for him. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
I'm hoping he can cramp. That ain't not good. That's not good. This is not good. It's not good at all.
Stretching, but that's good. They're stretching. We haven't really seen cramps in this game. There's a lot of humans in it. Usually that first couple games is just cramps. Yeah.
Look how big this crowd is, Alex. It's huge. No way.
Welcome back, and good news. I mean, you never want to see anybody shaken up, but it appears Brandon Hayward's going to be okay. They were stretching him out a little bit, and you just kind of hope as the kick is blocked. We'll go back to that in a moment. It's blocked. Oak Ridge could have tried to do something with it, but instead, by blocked, it was tipped, and Jefferson County tried to run back and get it and advance it. They can't do that. So it was blocked partially. I should have explained that a little bit more. They still get about 30 yards on the punt, but Oak Ridge will take over in great field position at the Jefferson County 39. Back to Hayward. He's getting stretched out and looked at by trainer, former Wildcat himself, Brian Leffler. Thankfully, and I don't want to make a judgment, it looked really scary. He came down and kind of got twisted. It looked like they were stretching him out, and I'm hoping it's just a cramp. So hopefully Hayward's all right. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 2 wideouts right, 2 split to the left. As Blaine Stansberry in his first start tries to lead the Wildcats in Cardinal and Gray to a victory to make it 1-0 on the season. And he's going to find his buddy, Will Presley, on the left. Presley's going to take a huge hit and got Tornado spun down at the 38. And he's a tough kid. He pops right back up. And I'll tell you what, if I got hit like that, I wouldn't have popped back up. But Will's quite a bit tougher than I am. So he traveled a long distance to gain a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Hayden Churchwell put a hammer on him that time from his linebacker position.
You were making a statement a moment ago as we're between plays here. This is a great crowd. You would expect that, but the last several years, a lot of times these early games, especially with it starting earlier, home games start at 7 this year, I was afraid it would be sparse. This is a really good crowd. As Oak Ridge drew him off sides, it'll be 5 yards closer. It'll bring up 2nd and a short 3 for this Wildcat offense. But, Mike, I'm looking down. No, every seat is not taken. But if you took everybody, they wouldn't fit because they've got so many kids. This looks like, 5-10 years ago where the track's full. There's people standing around all sides of the fence. This is a really good crowd on opening night. I think there's been some excitement about a new quarterback, some excitement about a new offense and Coach Rang. And what won't cause excitement is the fact that I was wrong. It is actually against Oak Ridge.
5 yards.
They jumped, they meaning Jefferson County, but I think they're going to say that Oak Ridge kind of flinched first, and it's going to be a 5 yards penalty against Oak Ridge. So it will now be 2nd and 12 for the Wildcats from the Patriot 41-yard line. 3:10 to go here in the third quarter. Stansberry gets a snap, give up the middle to Dozier. Stiff arms one man, makes another man miss before he's tackled at the 39. The ball came out, and Jefferson County doesn't like it, but he was down, and the officials confirmed that. It will be 3rd and 9 And again, the way Coach Ring has called this game, Mike, you kind of got to say the defense is playing well. He's probably going to roll the dice. You think 2-down territory. So even though it's 3rd and long, the run game or short pass game is still very much in play right here. You got to think.
Absolutely. Stansbury's just played excellent tonight, and hopefully he can get the ball on one of these great receivers, because we've got 3rd down and 10, 39 on the 39-yard line, 2 minutes and 24 seconds and counting left here in the 3rd quarter.
Ball on the far side hash near the Jefferson County sideline. Play action fake. Wide open across the middle is LaShawn Knowles. He's got the first down and more. Down to the 21-yard line. He got the first down, and there's the flag. I thought it was going to be a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down, but it looks like it will be an official's replay 3rd down. And it will. No. Roughing the passer on the defense.
Yes.
So Stansbury must have taken a late shot or a low shot. I didn't see it. Regardless, thankfully, he's all right. And it is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. And with 2:11 to play here in the 3rd quarter, the Wildcats holding on to a 17-7 lead. They're now driving, and they're now in the red zone. Ball will be marked down at the 11-yard line, so the Wildcats can get a first down without scoring. It would be hard to do, but it's possible. 1st and 10 from the 11. Wildcats inching closer to pay dirt here, trying to make this a 3-possession game as the clock ticks under 2 minutes to play. Handoff, middle, a lot of space for Dozier. 3, 2, 1, pulls his way in for 6 points. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Dozier patiently waited, let the hole open up, sprinted in, powered his way across the goal line. But Mike, you like the Big Uglies. You were one. One might argue you still are one. You watched that offensive line play. That was a beautiful play up front. The big men created that space.
Amen. They opened a big hole, and he did not disappoint. He got in there, got past the linebackers, and there's no safety in high school going to stop him.
And they will stop the extra
kick
point.
Was up, but no good.
They will stop the extra point. You know, that's when you're supposed to say, well, Alex, you've got a face for radio. It doesn't matter. What does matter is Oak Ridge is up 23-7 with 1:54 to go. We're going to be back to Blankenship Field after this 60-second timeout. I had to get you there.
That's all right.
Dave wasn't here to say the 40, the 40, and
Yeah,
the 41.
I know. I don't mind a bit. I'm just tickled to be here, buddy.
That's how I feel.
You're not going to hurt my
I can't
feelings.
believe I was thinking today,
You're going to have to say a lot worse than that to hurt my feelings.
All right, challenge accepted. I'm just kidding. I was thinking today, from the time I was in high school, I've been helping. Welcome back to Blankenship Field as Oak Ridge gets set to kick off. It will be Eli Pearson. His kick is off and caught at the 17-yard line. It's actually bobbled, but he finally gets it under control, and he's going to be wrestled out of bounds. We'll call it the 22-yard line before progress is stopped. Deshaun Knowles in, unsurprisingly, on the tackle. Deshaun's been everywhere. He's got an interception. He's got a touchdown. He's got a catch for a first down that led to that Wildcat touchdown. He's got special teams plays. He is everywhere, and the Wildcats need him to be that player all season long.
If I had to vote for a MVP, it would be him. Deshaun Knowles has played an outstanding football game for the Wildcats here in the opening game of the season, 2023.
And I want to say something else. Before Jefferson County takes the field, they'll have it 1st and 10 on their own 25, 1:47 to play in the 3rd quarter. You know, all preseason, you know, the word around town, the scuttlebutt was that the offense was much more advanced versus the defense. This defense, aside from an opening fumble, which they only had, Jefferson County only had to go about 10 yards, 15 yards to score, they haven't given up a point after that. Not a single point have they given up after that. At the first down, as I was rambling, the running back went rambling down for about 6 yards off the left side, as it was Williamson on the carry, brought down by Certain, and it will be 2nd and 4, 1:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Oak Ridge had a lineman limp off. They get a quick substitute in as Dallas Sprint directing traffic in the secondary. There's going to immediately be play halted as there's a flag thrown from the back judge. One would assume that would be something on the offense if they're going to if they're going to stop that pre-snap, and we'll see. Maybe an illegal substitution against Oak Ridge. It's against Oak Ridge. I'm not always familiar with the hand signals, so we'll have to wait on Guy Hamrick, 45-year-old vet or 45-year vet doing PA. He has been doing this for 45 years, and he said he hasn't missed a game since he was 12 years old. He's missed one game.
Yeah, his father, Tom Hamrick, he took over that job when his father passed away.
Public address
so
announcer.
You talk about
his
family
voice.
history going way back. The Hamrick family has been awesome.
It was a 5-yard penalty, illegal substitution, so it's now automatically a 1st down and 10 for Jefferson County. Patriots get a run off the left side, stretches out towards the sideline, and they're going to be happy with about a gain of 2.5, 3 yards. We'll give them 3 as the clock ticks under triple digits, and it's now double digits. Mere seconds left in this as we under 55, 52, 50 seconds now here in this quarter before clock's going to be stopped for an injury timeout. And as soon as they blow the whistle, the kid for Jefferson County gets up and sprints back towards the huddle. He's going to have to come out. They stopped the clock for you, buddy. He's going to have to sit out a play. It's a lineman, and I believe it's their big left tackle. So they're going to have a new left tackle in for this play. Now, let's see if they have the confidence to go back that way. It's their left guard, excuse me. I think there's probably a good chance that this ball goes to the right side, Mike, as you know, you got a new guy in there for one play. Let's see if I'm right, or let's see if they continue to stride that short side of the field and go left. They will go right. The give goes right side, and they're going to gain about 4 yards off the right tackle. It's Mills again, the senior running back. He's a good-looking player. He has quick feet, and Mike, he looks like the type of player, if you could give him a little bit of space, he'd be a threat, a home run threat to break it long. But Oak Ridge hasn't given that opportunity tonight. 12 seconds to go. Jefferson County doesn't have to snap this. I believe they will, though, on 3rd and 3 as we inch closer to the end of the third quarter. They do snap it. Gibbs goes right back on the left side, and it's crossed the 1st down marker. It was Mills again, and that's the quarter. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. When we come back, it'll be Jefferson County football at the midfield marker, 1st and 10, trailing 23-7.
I'd rather be ahead 16, down by 16.
Do what?
I said I'd rather be ahead by 16 than down by 16. Rocker on, haven't played another game. I think he's done for tonight. That's my brother-in-law's grandson, Rocker on.
He's a talented youngster. He's fast.
Yeah, he's real fast.
He'll learn from that.
Oh yeah, he will.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan with you. Shauna and Mark Hayes doing stats. Thanks to our cameramen down there. We can thank them later as it's time to get back to football. 1st and 10 for the Patriots, just inside Oak Ridge Wildcat territory. They got 1st and 10 on our 49-yard line. Start of the fourth quarter. Clock will start when the ball is snapped. Man in motion, left to right. Handoff goes left to right. He's got a little room on the outside. Gets back to the 50, crosses into enemy territory, and it's down near the 1st down marker. He might have enough. It was Sean Jackson, the 5'11", 183-pound sophomore on the give. Did he get the 1st down? He was past it by the time he fell down, but I wasn't sure if he was out of bounds or not. There is a flag on the play, but it's at the end of the run. Typically, that's in the area of a face mask, but it could be something against the offense. Jefferson County sideline, where the flag's right in front of, they don't exactly look happy. So, potentially, this could be coming back. We'll see. This officiating crew hasn't been real controversial, which is always a good thing, especially, early in the season. A lot of times, refs are subject to scrutiny when teams are getting sloppy, but, who knows?
Well, this is a much less penalized team than last year's team. I like the discipline of this team, especially the way they act is so much better, and it really shows in the penalty.
Wow. Jefferson County, I think it was a dead ball because they're going to count it as a first down, but then they're going to move the chains back. So it will be 1st and 10 still, but the ball is now back in Oak Ridge territory, in Patriot territory, still near the midfield stripe. But they're going to place this ball at the 48-yard line. So something happened on that sideline. We don't know. Perhaps our ground camera crew, Josh Frazier, or Mr. Ulrich, John Ulrich, one of our new cameramen, perhaps they caught that on film, and we can see it on the replay potentially. 11:49 to go. We're about 5 minutes of real time into this third quarter, just 11 seconds into the actual third quarter.
Exactly.
Again, 1st and 10. They're going to spot it on the 46-yard line. So trying to get across midfield once again is this Patriot offense. They trail it. Oak Ridge leading 23-7. Both teams have snapped every ball from scrimmage out of the shotgun. This play will be no different. Fake handoff up the middle. They're going to try a deep pass. They got Presley burnt for a moment, and then Presley's going to make a play on it, and then a guy takes it back from Presley. An excellent play. A battle of number twos. Two had Presley beat. Then Presley made up ground with his speed, went for the interception, had the ball in his hands. He played it beautifully, but then the other number two, Bryson Letterman, grabbed the ball back from him, and it's easily their best offensive play of the game. Quickly to the line they go, and Mills, gets the handoff on first down, and it just seems like this offense, every time it's second down, Mike, it's 2nd and 8. I don't know that they've seen a second and short all game.
You're exactly right.
I'd pass it more if I was them. I'd pass it more. They're starting to get a little bit of confidence. Running on first down straight up the middle is just not doing anything.
No. Dallas Frett there on the tackle for the Wildcats, a 1-yard loss.
Dallas is a fun player to watch. His mannerisms, his playing style reminds me a lot of a former Wildcat, Tommy Kachoha, playing in Germany right now professionally, along with another Wildcat, Jamequis Johnson, playing professionally overseas. Handoff went left side that time. Porter on the tackle. Thank you, Mike. I thought there was a flag, but I think it was just a piece of someone's helmet or uniform that came off. So all is well, and it's about a 5-yard gain. They're going to call it third and 6. Fine by me. 10:21 to go in the last fourth and final quarter here, I should say. Patriots driving, trying to get points for the first time since their opening drive in the first quarter. This Oak Ridge defense has been tremendous in this one. Can they hold on third down as they have done so many times this game? Shotgun. Snap across the middle. Throw is high and it's intercepted. Intercepted that time. Izzy Mitchell. Big play. Izzy does it again. He intercepted it in the end zone, and Oak Ridge will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Mike, what a play.
That ball just sailed on the quarterback that time. He threw it. He overthrew it. And Izzy was in the back protecting, and he was just able to scoop that ball up and fall down on it, and the Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. What a great play by Izzy Mitchell.
Izzy's just one of those guys. You can call him a defensive back, you can call him a receiver, you can call him an athlete. I call him a football player, and he's one of my favorite football players the last several years for Oak Ridge to watch because he plays with so much heart, so much passion, and he just flies around the football field. And wherever he's at, a play's fixing to happen, and it did right there. Oak Ridge going to take a deep shot to Presley, and he just overthrew him. Presley, there was a gap to throw it there, and he just put a little too much mustard on it, did Stansberry. I think we've got an update. It looks like Cleveland just scored. I don't know the score. We'll try to get you a couple scores of interest after the ball game. Certainly that Clinton opponent of Oak Ridge, a big rivalry. A lot of hype preseason for them. We'll get that score along with some others around the region.
See Anderson County Powell. I'm pretty interested in that game.
Absolutely.
Too.
I mean, and that's the thing about high school. You don't get a lot of these sort of cupcake-type games that you get opening weeks of college. I mean, when you get into high school football, everywhere you look, there's good games going on. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take one with them. 30 seconds. We'll be back to Blankenship Field. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers subbing in for David Clary, who is helping us produce remotely. Many of you know he helps with the Braves, and he was unable to be at this game, but helped with the show this past week and certainly will be a big part of our broadcast as we go throughout this season. But I'm thankful you guys let me in the chair for one night. As Dozier gets the handoff on the right side, and he's going to get outside, but not really upfield. Maybe gained a half a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9 upcoming. 3rd and 9, as there's 9:36 left in this fourth quarter. Oak Ridge leading 23-7. Ball on their own 21-yard line. They've got to get it to the 30 in order to move the chains. One receiver right. They're on the right hash, moving left to right as we see it from the north side down towards the Appalachian Underwriters building in Jackson Square. Hayward is that receiver to the right side, nearest the Oak Ridge sideline. 2 receivers left, a running back into the backfield. Lane's got a pump fake there. He's looking for Hayward all the way. He's got him if he can get the ball there. It was a little bit of a short throw, and Hayward made a diving attempt coming back at it, and unfortunately just could not quite get there in time. It was intended for Hayward, but there's no doubt about this one. Oak Ridge's punting unit has not been on the field much, but they're going to have to come out here on their own 20-yard line tonight.
Yeah, that was a bit of a low throw that time. As I'll give you an update, Powell's leading Anderson County 21-14 with 9:42 left in the third quarter right now. That's a great game going on there. Anderson County's giving them all they can, but right now Powell's up 21-14.
And it looks like that Cleveland score, Cleveland over Clinton 25-14 at this point. We'll continue to give you more scores as we go into our postgame show. Eli Pearson, the talented punter for Oak Ridge, catches it at his 10. Boots it away from his 13,
Ooh.
and the high spiraling ball turns over and is going to be caught momentarily.
Fumble.
It's dropped.
Oak Ridge
It's
got
fumbled, and Oak Ridge has it. It's Dallas Front, baby, down at the 44-yard line. The boys in Cardinal and Gray will trot back the offense. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
Dallas Frent there on the recovery for the Wildcats. Great pressure, great kick. Ball turned over. Did the same thing that happened earlier for Oak Ridge. It bounced off the front of his shoulder pad. Dallas Frent was right on the spot to recover that fumble, putting the Wildcats back in business on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 46. 8:57 left in this contest. Oak Ridge leading by 16, 23-7.
You'll have to, ladies and gentlemen, excuse my East Tennessee vernacular, but this is simply a put-em-away drive. You score here, that's all she wrote.
Exactly.
We're going to try is Stansberry rolls to his right, finds Hayward at the 39. He powers forward across the 35 down to the 34 where he's pushed out of bound. But as I see you out of the corner of my eye, you're signaling there's laundry in the backfield, isn't there, Mike?
Yeah, exactly right. I think this is going to go against the Wildcats, regretfully, because that was another positive play for the Wildcats. But I'm sorry to say this was coming back due to a penalty.
I hope Lucas Forsstrom is watching. I hope Lucas Forsstrom is watching or listening, because I can't remember this guy's name, the official, but it's the one that he infamously yelled no at a basketball game one time as there was just a missed call. I'll say it that way. That one wasn't a missed call. It was the correct call. It does fall against the Wildcats, so it'll push them back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. They've got to get to the opposing 34 for a first down. Screen pass left side to Dozier. He's got blocking across midfield, down to the 40. Makes a man miss. 35, 30, 34, and he's tackled out of bounds that time by Tyree Porter, but not before he picks up a 10 bank of Oak Ridge. First down, and ladies and gentlemen, is there another flag? There is. There's a flag back at the 50, right in the, and it looks like Stansberry is signaling to Coach Rang the shoving motion, which would indicate a block in the back. That's tough because the blocking was set up. Maybe now we know why, but that was a good-looking run. And just shows you give Dozier a little bit of space, and he can take it to the house.
Oh, that was a beautiful play. I'm just so disappointed that got nullified by another penalty from the Wildcats. How unfortunate is that now? Now it's moving us back all the way to about the 41-yard line. Brings up 1st and 15 now for the Wildcats. What a disappointing play that turned out to be. Stansberry
was right. Illegal block in the back. So, I'm not that talented, but I can at least pick up on body language a little bit. Maybe not when the officials do it, but I understood what Stansberry was saying.
Yeah, you did.
2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. It is Valen Henderson, that lone receiver to the left. They're going to look his way. No, they hand it off up the middle to the job is Dozier. He powers his way right behind the center's back for about 3 yards, a tough 3 yards. It will be second and we'll call it 20, as it was actually first and 23. So second and 20 from the Wildcat 44-yard line, and we're going to have a timeout. Who called it? Can we get a signal? We can't, apparently, but there has been a timeout of some sort, so we'll take one of our own. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more Oak Ridge football after this. What was the call? There was no timeout, so now we've just taken a timeout. I was wondering because they never signaled one way or the other.
I know. I didn't see anything either.
I'd be mad if I was Jefferson County. Oak Ridge essentially just got a free water break. There was no reasoning why. Oh, well. Stansberry rolls to the right. He's going to find Presley out. Presley just dropped it. I think he heard some footsteps that time. But
I think you're right.
Presley will tell you himself, I'm sure he should have caught that one. But he's made some plays tonight, and he'll make up for that one absolutely. But unfortunately, that one was dropped, and it would have been a gain of about 10. They still need about 20 to go, though, so it wouldn't have been enough for a first down. It's 3rd and 20. Ball on the Oak Ridge 44. They've got to get down to the Jefferson County 34. Math is not my strong suit, as you can tell by that elongated pause. It's 7:38 to go here in the fourth quarter. I'm going to give myself a headache if I'm not careful. Stansberry still in the backfield. Dozier to his right, as he has been nearly all game. Stansberry scans the right side of the field. A little bit of pressure forces him out right. He's going to try to throw, keeps his head downfield, and finds Rimbert down to the 47-yard line. 48, we'll call it. And that's good enough for a significant gain. Still 7 yards short of the first down, but what it may do is give Oak Ridge enough confidence to say, hey, we're going to go for it. And I think that's exactly what we've done. I wonder, this will be something to keep an eye on as the year goes on. I wonder if Jefferson County's offense was a little bit more potent, was a little bit more of a threat, I wonder if we would see Eli Pearson a little bit more. But because they've not really shown quick score ability and they're down by 3 possessions, Oak Ridge is going to go for it. And again, on 4th down for the second or third time this game, they get Jefferson County to fall for the hard count.
Yeah, they sure did. He jumped offside. There was no doubt about it. He encroached, and now that's going to really help Oak Ridge out. And they were already going to go for it. Now they've only got to go 2 yards for a first down, with 7 minutes left here in this game, leading 23-7.
Looks like Anderson County is down by a couple of touchdowns in the third quarter to Powell. Score of interest in this area. Stansberry looks to the right on 4th down. He's going to find Hayward, and he's across the first down. Did he catch it? Did he hold on to it?
He did.
You bet he did. And that's a 10-make of Oak Ridge first down as Oak Ridge moves deeper and deeper into Patriot territory. It's 1st and 10, and the ball will be spotted at the Patriot 33-yard line. 6:49 to go here in the quarter. Oak Ridge in no particular hurry to get this play off.
Brandon Hayward made a tremendous catch that time because the defense was hanging off of him. He still made the catch and the first down.
And a great to see him back in there after that scare earlier, thankfully. So it will be a shotgun snap again. A little bit of pressure forces Stansberry to take a hard hit from behind. He didn't really see that one coming, but he had the pocket presence and just sort of that feel that coaches talk, not even at the high school level, usually at the college and pro level, just having a feel. You may not see the guy, but just kind of having a sense that. And he brought the ball down and tucked it so he didn't fumble when he got hit. Again, it's those little things that, he took a sack, but most sophomore quarterbacks are not, they don't have that sort of sense and savvy is a good word to put it. 2nd down, 13 to go, ball on the 36-yard line. Oak Ridge sputtering, but driving here against the Patriots. And he nearly threw an interception that time. He tried to find Hayward on a hitch route. It looked like the Patriots' 15 had dropped back in Newman, looked like he had sort of dropped back as an outside backer into zone coverage and was just right in the direction and right in the pathway of that ball. And quite frankly, Oak Ridge and Stansberry lucky that one didn't end up in a turnover. Yeah,
Emmett Newman should have had that pass. It hit him right in the hand, but he was so surprised he dropped it. Thank goodness for the Wildcats. Brings it 3rd and 13 now.
Stansberry looking left from the start. Now he's going to look right. Tunnel screen to Hayward, and it's going to be picked off momentarily. Then it's going to be stripped away by Hayward. The ball's on the ground. Is it an interception or is it a fumble? If they count it as an interception, it will be 1st and 10 Oak Ridge because they had possession, then Oak Ridge got it back. If they count it as not an interception, it will be 4th down. If they count that as an interception, the lineman intercepted it. I think he picked it off. But Jalen Hayward was scrappy, didn't give up on the play. He just stripped the ball. Oak Ridge came out with it. Somehow they rule it an interception and say that Jefferson County's got the ball. I'm not sure how that happened because, in my view, now we are far away. I thought Oak Ridge fell on that ball. I'm not sure if it's an interception, how that wasn't a fumble. As David Clary would say, regardless, it's Jefferson County ball. Tough break there.
It looked like he fumbled the ball when he hit the ground, so they're saying the ground caused the fumble. Even though Oak Ridge recovered it, it's still Jefferson County ball. So they get back 1st and 10 up from the 49. What a break for the Jefferson County Patriots that time. Wildcats not so much. As Jefferson County comes back trailing 23-7 with 5:43 left in this contest.
It looks like they have a new quarterback. We'll get his name and number momentarily. It's number 18. He's going to take off and run. He's a little bit more of a running threat. He ran about 20 yards, but he went so far back initially that he only got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a half a yard. It was Jackson Osborne. Now, he's a quarterback, 6'2", 174 pounds, a youngster, just a sophomore. But here's how you know he's athletic, Mike. He's also, on the defensive side, a defensive back. So he's athletic. We'll see if he flashes some arm here. 5:17 to go. Oak Ridge in control of this game, but Jefferson County has it near the midfield marker at Oak Ridge's 49-yard line with 5:10 to go. It's 2nd and 10. Quarterback drops, deep drop, drops back, lofts a pass out to the left side, and it was Valen Henderson on the tackle. Kind of soft coverage that time from Oak Ridge, but they had 10 yards to play with. It was a 7-yard gain. Dustin Roberts on the catch. Jackson Osborne back there. They're going to go no huddle, quick offense here. They get the snap off, fake up the middle. He's going to try to run with it. He's got room. 1st down and more if he stays up, and he does, but there's a flag on the play, and I believe that's going to be holding. Coach Rang is signaling holding, or is that Coach Chitwood? Regardless, Oak Ridge thinks that's the call. I think it's the call. We'll see if the referee thinks it's the call. This will be the difference between replaying 3rd down and a 1st down for the Patriots. 4:36 to go. Clock is stopped in this ball game while the officials decide what the call is. It is a holding. It is on Jefferson County. It will be 3rd down once again.
Yes.
It will be, we'll see what it is. It's going to be third and long. We'll see just how long depending on where they call that holding at. So it was in the backfield. So it's going to back them up beyond the initial line of scrimmage. It's going to be, instead of a 1st and 10 inside the Oak Ridge 40, it will now be 3rd and 14 from the Patriot 48. 4:27 to go, clock ticking now. 2 men were in motion. They didn't flag it. Instead, they're going to roll out right. Lofty pass. Hayward's got the ball. He's intercepted. Cross midfield. Going backwards now, then he goes forward again before he's finally tackled inside Patriot territory down to the 42-yard line. Brandon Hayward. I keep calling you your brother's name, sir. I am sorry. He was a good football player. You are too, and you showed why right there. He can play offense. We know that. He got dinged up earlier. Now he makes a great play. You see that sophomore quarterback, maybe you see why he hasn't quite taken that starting job yet. That's a couple of passes that he lofted out there. And if you throw it in 13 or Izzy Mitchell's direction, if you loft a ball out there without any zip on it, they're going to come out of there with the ball, and that they did. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. Dozier the handoff on the right side. He's going to do everything he can to get across the 40-yard line. We're going to call it a gain of 3 yards. He'll get down to the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7 with 4:05 to go. Clock has been stopped. It's 4:06. It'll be 2nd and 7, ball at the 39-yard line. Well, that's just not. It's not the spot I thought.
Bad spot.
Yeah, they're going to call it at the 41. They're going to say he only gained 1 yard. I'm not sure about that one, but I am sure that it's 2nd down and 9 yards to go now. 4:06 to play. Clock won't start until the ball is snapped. Stansberry looking around, reading the defense, taking his time as he should. 10 seconds on the play clock. Snap is off. Dozier gets the handoff right, puts his foot in the ground, plants up the middle, and he's going to get forward for a gain of about 4. And it's going to be 3rd and very manageable here, 3rd and a long 4. And again, at this point on the field, ball will be on the 38-yard line. You're probably in 4-down territory again, so you could run this, you could pass this. Bashawn Knowles, sort of a sniffer, H-back, sort of hybrid fullback tight end position. He's in the ball game now. hand in the ground on the right side. Strong formation to the right side, but they're not going to run it. They're going to throw it. They're going to deep. Will Presley, they've got him. Can he get there? And he's just totally, he's tackled at the 3-yard line. The flag comes down, and it will be a first down, a Tin Bank of Oak Ridge first down for Oak Ridge. Presley had him beat. It was a touchdown, but instead, at the high school level, Mike, that's not always the worst play is to tackle the guy, because this isn't the NFL where you get the ball down at the 3-yard line where he's tackled. Instead of giving up a touchdown, he decided, I'm going to tackle the guy and only give up 15 yards. So it's frustrating as an Oak Ridge fan, but not the worst play if you're a Jefferson County fan.
Exactly right. I mean, he did all he could do, really, because he was going to catch that ball.
Oak Ridge has had receivers running wide open in between the gaps of this Jefferson County Patriots secondary all night long. And if that's a sign of things to come in the future, you've got to like the future of this Oak Ridge offense and really this program under Coach Rang. If 3 quarters, almost a full game, is anything to show. 23-7 the score. Oak Ridge leads it, driving with 3:30 to go. The clock is stopped after that penalty. The ball is spotted on the 22-yard line near the red zone as Oak Ridge is looking to put more points on the board here. 1st and 10. Again, 3:30 on the clock. Snap is off and the clock starts. Rimber catches the pass, a little hitch comeback for about 7 yards down to the 15-yard line. It will be 2nd and a long 2 for Oak Ridge. Presley into the ball game at wide receiver, along with Amani Rimbert, who just caught that pass. Dozier in the backfield. Oak Ridge has got a 2 tight end set here. So they've got 12 personnel out of a sideline, meaning 1 running back, 2 tight ends. As Oak Ridge is in no hurry to get this play off. They wait till 17 seconds on the clock to snap it. They give it to Dozier. Makes a couple of nice cuts across the 10, across the 5, across the goal line. Touchdown to Thomas Dozier. A 15-yard touchdown run, and 22 puts 6 on the board.
Just a tremendous play call that time by the Wildcats, and a very determined run by Jarvis Dozier. He shows why he's going to be an all-state candidate at running back for the Wildcats, doing a great job of getting into the end zone and putting the Wildcats up now 29-7 with the extra point forthcoming.
Washington's hold, good. The kick from Eli Pearson, even better. 30-7, the Wildcats on top here with 2:44. I hope you like dessert, Mike. That was the icing on the cake.
Yep.
We're going to take a 60-second timeout, and we'll come back to finish this one up.
Hi, Sally Brown.
That was
so
a
you've got the radio, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as this game ends, I'm going to walk down. I'm going to send it to a commercial. I'm going to walk down with this. So you and Josh is going to come up with you and help.
Okay, good.
You guys have got to watch for me. I'll be waiting.
Okay.
And I'll point to you, if I need you to talk.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thank you very much. As Eli Pearson is on for the kick, Dozier thought he was going to be out there. He's going to come off the sideline. 2:44 to go in this one. Oak Ridge in control here. They're going to go to 1-0 on the season. They're up 30-7. Again, 2:44 to play. Ball at the 35 as Oak Ridge gets set. The 40 as Oak Ridge gets set to kick this one off. Probably the last kickoff for the Wildcats of the game. Pearson's gotten close. He's gotten the ball down to inside the 5 on just about every kickoff. Hasn't got it into the end zone yet. See if he can do it here. A little adrenaline, and guess what? It works. He got it across into the end zone, not returnable in TSSAA rules. There is a flag that comes in way down at the 35-yard line. I'm not sure how there's a flag when there's no return, and there was really no blocking on the play. But we'll see. Listen to that Oak Ridge student section. A great crowd start to finish, Mike.
Oh, yeah, it has been. And the student section, I got to give them a shout-out. They've done a tremendous job tonight at keeping the excitement going here for the Wildcats opener against the Jefferson County Patriots. The Wildcats are just so excited about getting this season started, and the student body came out in force, and they've been loud and proud tonight.
Into the ballgame for Oak Ridge, Brantley Taylor, another sophomore, getting some action tonight. I see number 37, Gary Carlisle III, another sophomore for Oak Ridge out there, along with number 17, David Jenkins. So Oak Ridge getting a lot of new faces out there on the defensive side. I also see Lane Malcody out there as Jefferson County was penalized, and they're starting this one from their own 10-yard line. There's nearly a fumble on the handoff between the backup quarterback and I think the third-string running back, but they managed to get a handle on it and get forward for about 2 yards. Again, it seems like every single time they've had a second down, it's 2nd and 8, Mike.
I know it.
It seems like they've run the same play to get there.
Well, they're
every time.
shooting themselves in the foot. Skylar Thomas is a good running back, but the Wildcat defense have just been tremendous tonight.
2:20 on the scoreboard to left to play. As they get another handoff up the middle. This time they are able to cross the chains, get across the 20 down to the 24, and that'll be a first down for Jefferson County. Oak Ridge into the game. Porter in on the stop. Oak Ridge, Porter will take a break now into the ball game for the Wildcats. Adam Washington, he's got a bright future for the Wildcats. Holder can play some backup. I think quarterback and punter if he had to, especially on the quarterback, kind of play linebacker and defensive back. Oak Ridge nearly got a defensive back in there. As Washington, it was deflected first by Jarrell Jefferson, and Washington, if he would have been about 5 yards to his right, would have had a chance at a pick six. Great job by Jefferson getting his hand up and getting deflection. It's nice to see Hayward coming out of there healthy. As Oak Ridge getting another substitute into the ballgame. Marshall McConaughey playing at the far side corner. And these guys, this is their time to shine now to prove that they can play at this level. Running back is proving that he can do a lot. He's across the 40 to the 50, down to the 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, running out of steam, but he gets across the goal line, and Jefferson County has scored. There's no laundry on the field, no flags to be shown, and with 1:30 left, Jefferson County gets their first touchdown, their first points since the first drive of the ball game. Too little too late, but boy, if you're Jefferson County, it's at least a little spark to end this game on a positive note.
Yeah, they got outside the defenders, and the Wildcats just could not catch him. Very fast runner, got in there for the score. Now the score is 30-13 with 1:30 left, and the extra point forthcoming for the Patriots.
Late substitution coming into the game as kind of both teams are sort of getting some youngsters some playing time. I think there are a few new faces in on both sides. Hatson will attempt the extra point, and he will make the extra point. It's 30-14 with 1.5 to go. 90 seconds on the board. Let's take a 60-second timeout. Bashawn Knowles pumping his team up, saying, hey, this one's not over yet. Let's play hard till the end. 60 seconds from now, we'll be back with the finish of this game.
That was 77-yard touchdown run.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers alongside me is Mike Sheehan. Chris Skip joining us from out of town. He's his first Oak Ridge football experience. He's in the booth with us observing his first Oak Ridge game. He's from out of state. We appreciate all you listening, and it looks like Jefferson County is going to line up for an onside kick here. Interesting tactic with 90 seconds to go, down by 17, but, you know, never say never, right? Hatson will be the kicker, kicking off the tee. Going to go towards his right side, towards the Jefferson County sideline. Oak Ridge has their hands team in. Bashawn Knowles up there near it, and it's going to go right to Izzy Mitchell. He bobbled it for a moment, but he came out of there with it, and that should just about do it. It's a nice play by Izzy Mitchell to corral that ball. Oak Ridge will take over at the 50-yard line. I'm looking at Coach Rang, his family, Coach Rang, these players, obviously, nobody really happier than them to get this first win on the year. But I also don't know how anyone else could be happier than Joe Gaddis, as I see the athletic director, longtime coach of Oak Ridge, state championship coach for the Wildcats. He's pacing around as he does. And I know that man enough to know that there's not much in life that makes him happier than being on a sideline on Friday night watching Oak Ridge come out with a victory, which is exactly what they're fixing to do. First down, handoff goes to Bryson Arms. Riker Arms, and it's nice to see him back in there. He fumbled on that opening kickoff, and I don't know that he'd gotten back in the game. This is a young fellow with a lot of potential, kind of playing second-string running back as a sophomore. He got some playing time, a rarity as a freshman last year on the return game. He's a dangerous man with the ball in his hands. He's very, very fast. Made a mistake, sure, at the start of this game. He'll learn from that, and he's a guy to watch moving forward for the Wildcats. Riker Arms to the right of Stansberry. Stansberry letting this clock tick down. 20 seconds on the play clock. This could be potentially the last play of the game. We'll see what happens.
They're going to let the play clock run down. We're down to 7 and counting now.
5,
they'll run it late.
4, handoff up the middle of Arms, across the 50 to the 45, across the 40, down to the 35. One man to beat. He's going to barely hold on as he drug him for a few yards. Arms was an arm's length away from breaking that for 6. And just like that, don't get down on yourself, young man. I know you made a mistake earlier,
really.
But you can see right there why Coach Rang, even Coach Cummings last year, the Coach Rang, you got to get this guy on the field. And they're doing everything they can to do that, and he's got a bright future, no doubt.
He certainly does. He's a very talented young man. Very determined run. They made a good defensive play to stop Riker from getting into the end zone, but they're all the way down to the 28-yard line with time running out, and the Wildcats are going to come away with a victory.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. You hear the train whistle. The clock hits 0. Congratulations, Derek Rang, on win number 1 as head football coach of the Oak Ridge Wildcats. The Wildcats move to 1-0 on the season. You can't be any better than 1-0. Now, Oak Ridge has a bye week next week, so their second game won't be played for 2 more weeks. What a game, though, Mike. Before we hit to our first break, before our post-game show, your thoughts on what was a terrific game, an entertaining game, start to finish for the Wildcats?
Well, I thought the Wildcats, they didn't get down when they fumbled on the opening kickoff. They let, the Jefferson County went down and scored first, but they came back strong, and they scored 17 unanswered points in that first quarter, and they never looked back. They just played tough this entire game, and Oak Ridge coaching did a great job with this team. Defensively, I was very proud of them. I'm super proud of the linemen tonight, Alec. They just played lights out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mike. Let's take a 3-minute break, and we'll come back with more after this.
Got a missing kid.
A missing kid?
Yes. Police officer was just telling us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Making
not
it known.
good.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Every parent's biggest nightmare. It was a pleasure meeting you,
Hey,
sir.
pleasure meeting you. Thank you for coming by.
Maybe I'll get back up here when
Enjoyed
you
it.
guys are back at home.
Great
in
talking
October.
to you. I like that. Thank you. Good talking with you. Have a safe weekend.
All right, you take care now.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field.
Field
This
now.
is the wild man, Mike Sheehan, here after an exciting opening night for the Oak Ridge Wildcats here against the Jefferson County Patriots. Oak Ridge pulling out a 30-13 victory here on Coach Derek Rang's inaugural coaching job. A great job he did. I'm going to start out doing the scoring summary for tonight. Oak Ridge started out, Riker Arms had the ball fumbled on opening kickoff from the 25-yard line. 4 plays later, Amari Mills for the Patriots ran in from 5 yards out, and the Patriots went up 6-0. Then Luke Haston came in for the Patriots, kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Patriots led 7-0. But with 4 minutes and 58 seconds left, still in the first quarter, Eli Preston kicked a 10-yard field goal for the Wildcats to get on the board and scored 3. Well, we're going to go back down to the field for an interview.
My audio's
with Alec
cut out,
Myers.
so we'll just have to go with this and hope we're on. So thank you. I'm here with Blaine Stansberry. Blaine, sophomore quarterback. You transferred here before last year. You got, I think, maybe 5 snaps total last year. To come from that to not only playing but starting the first game, new coach, you're new to this. What was it like, just the pregame as this game got unfolded? What was going on in your mind? Were things just racing?
Well, coming into spring ball, I knew I had to fight for the spot. So then I knew it was going to be a hard fight all summer. And then I guess that once I got here to this game, it just all came quick, and I sort of realized now it's game time. And yeah.
Things start to slow down at some point because, everybody expects those jitters, but you really didn't look like you had jitters tonight. What do you credit that to?
I think I put it to Coach Rang and put me in tough spots in practice and really pushing our pace, and I think that's how I got comfortable with that.
You've got a unique friendship and relationship with Will Presley. You guys grew up playing together. You both transferred here. You guys, from the get, along with Hayward, you guys seem to have a really good chemistry between the two. 7-on-7 over the summer helps with that, but how important is it to have those guys that not only are good playmakers, but you can trust to be where they're supposed to be?
It's really important because it's all about timing, really, and I know where they're going to be because I've done so many reps with them, and it's good to have a strong relationship with those guys.
One of the last questions, I got a couple more questions, but one of the last ones is, take me through that. What was it like? Now, you're able to reflect many more in front of you. It's your first time going down the steps as a starting QB, kids tapping you on the shoulder pads knowing that's our guy. This whole experience, when you go to sleep tonight, you got the win, which is what was most important for you, I'm sure, but the whole experience, describe that to me.
Coming down here, actually starting, I don't think there's anywhere like it. This place was packed, and it just felt great to really be out here.
What do you guys got to do? You got a weird schedule deal now. You won't be back here until basically October, and then your bye week's next week. So a lot of times, you see a lot of improvement from week 1 to week 2. Well, you guys got a chance to really do that with the bye week. What are you guys going to focus on over the next 14 days?
I think we're just going to really look into Powell and see what their weakness is and how we can attack that, really.
Okay, well, thanks so much. Congratulations, Blaine Stansberry. His first win as a quarterback for Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is 1-0 on the season.
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep it here as Vashon Knowles, popular cat. Vashon Knowles taking pictures here like the paparazzi. Vashon, I just talked to a sophomore who made an incredible, tremendous impact on this game. Now I'm going to talk to a senior who did the same. You more on the defensive side of the ball, but you played some offense too. Coaching changed from Gaddis to Cummings last year. Coaching changed from your junior year to your senior year. There's a lot of things shifted. How good did it feel to finally, after all that long off season, all that change, get out here and get a win?
Bro, I was ready for it. Even in the preseason, played Fulton, played Maryville. I was just ready to, get out there and go play, win some games for the squad, and just really, do my thing out there, try to get some looks.
Well, you got to look from us. I won't tell you what kind of look, as you intercepted that pass, and then you did a little dance in the end zone. I'm not sure Coach Rang liked that as much as the cameras may have, but take us through that interception. What happened? Not only did you intercept it, but you actually created the deflection that led to that. Walk us through that play.
So basically, I was supposed to be blitzing the quarterback, and it kind of looked like read option, but I got quarterback on that, so I kind of just sat, and then I knew he was throwing, so he looked like right behind me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just drop back a little bit. So I dropped back. They ran like a slant behind me, and I was just trying to swat it down, and then it was just right there. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this to the house.
What you guys have to do, you got a weird deal here. I was talking to Blaine about this. You got a weird situation where your bye week falls in week 2. So just as you're starting to get momentum and you feel like, hey, we're in the rhythm of the season, now you guys have to sit a week. So what do you plan to do as a defense, as a unit, as a team, as one of the leaders here? What are you guys going to do between now and 2 weeks from now?
A whole lot of watching film, whole lot of just practicing different stuff, putting some new formations in, and just overall just trying to get better, 1% better every day.
Coming down the steps as a senior, it's the last first, right, if that makes any sense. Does it mean anything different to you? I always think as a senior it probably does, probably more so towards the end of the year, but did you think about stuff on the bus ride, on the steps down, any of that stuff sink in a little bit differently this time?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in the locker room, I was getting locked in. I kind of didn't think about it like that, and then whenever I was walking down the stairs, I was like, dang, this is really like my last first. But at the same time, I knew I was about to go out there, play for the team. That's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to win the game, and hopefully we can make it deep in the playoffs.
Well, I'm not going to confirm or deny that David Clary kind of took credit for that interception that turned into a touchdown because you're a member of the Prep Radio crew in the wintertime. So we'll let him live with that, and we'll let you live with the victory tonight. Good job.
Thank you.
We're going to keep it down here and keep Coach Rang if we can round him up. He's a popular man. Thank you to Mr. Barry, great photographer. If we're good with Coach Rang, we're good. Coach, you're a popular guy for understandable reasons. First game as a Wildcat coach, before we get into the details, how does it feel? I know it's a long build-up. The off-season's always long, but as a coach, never long enough in a way, right? But you finally get out here, go down the steps, you come out here, coach the game, and get a win. How's that feel?
Man, it's huge. I mean, a win's a win's a win. Your typical first game, it wasn't always pretty, a lot of turnovers, sloppy play, but ultimately, defensively, what about our defense tonight? I mean, basically they had a 20-yard drive to start the first quarter. We had a pick six, I think 3 interceptions, multiple tackles for loss, flying around all night, a big-time defensive performance. So Coach Hawkins, defensive staff deserve a lot of credit there. And then, but it's a big. I mean, it's always big to start your season out 1-0. From a psychological standpoint, it may not think like that from just a fan, but it just means so much to your locker room. They've been coming all summer. You start out 1-0, you've won that first game, so we just got to keep building.
Especially when you got to bye. It's a long time to sit on a loss or a win. So thankfully for you guys, you got a win. We'll talk about the offense. We'll keep it on the defense first off because there's no secret. This word around town this offseason was that the offense looked pretty good.
Yep.
Even though there was a young quarterback, but the defense looked like maybe not quite the Oak Ridge defense of the past. Yeah. Tonight, the offense looked up to par. I mean, it looked like as good as what we had been hearing, but the defense, they looked really, really good. And aside from that tough spot that really wasn't their fault, they didn't give a point until, the substitutions were.
Well, I mean, and I think sometimes that gets misconstrued. When you scrimmage at Maryville and then play at Greenville, I mean, those are teams that have won, multiple recent state championships, whatever. Those are really good football teams. And I think, defensively, obviously, we've been working hard. And then, those guys, they're hearing that and probably get a little chip on their shoulder. Like, hey, listen, we're going to show these people week 1. And I felt like tonight the defense played really well. And like you were saying, offensively, in the preseason, we've not made the mistakes we made tonight. Like, we've been pretty good with the ball. We've been pretty good with, just executional stuff. And today, at times, we were all over the place on offense. So I think there's a lot of work to go around, but these kids are going to fight and get better, and feel like that's the mentality of the group. We got a working class group right now, so they're going to fight and get better, and hopefully we can correct some of these mistakes.
A lot of youngsters getting the time, not just at the end, but throughout. A lot of sophomores and even some freshmen on the field tonight for the Wildcats. Coach, before I let you go, a couple more questions. On the offensive side, sophomore quarterback, I think he'd have 5 throws ever, maybe.
Yeah.
And now he's first-time starter. How do you feel like he handled it? He had some mistakes, but I felt like as a fan when we're watching in the booth, doesn't look like he could have played a whole lot better for his first game.
Yeah, Blaine, I mean, he's at number one. He's a great kid to be around. He's a worker. He's a competitor. He knows the game. He had some throws he wished he would have had back. I felt like at times felt like the pressure was coming on him. Their defensive box was these built, thick, strong kids. I mean, you look at number 7, 15, 8, 6. 74. I mean, you look at those guys over there. I mean, they're huge. And I thought he did well. Obviously, had some throws he wish he had back, but I mean, the run game wasn't working, so we started throwing it around a little bit, and he made some really nice throws and hung in there and made some plays. And he's only going to get better, guys. I mean, he's just a sophomore starting, so the sky's the limit for his potential.
Last question. It's a weird situation now. You got a bye week. Just as you get started, you kind of have to take your foot off the gas. What are you guys going to do over the next 14 or so days to get prepared and get right for what's going to be ultimately a really long stretch of football going down the stretch?
Well, we just got to make sure that obviously come out of the game healthy. Obviously, we got Monday, we got freshman JV out here against Jeff. And then Tuesday, we got to practice and get better and just work on the mistakes that we made against Jeff County, because the next time we play is going to be right here against Powell in Rivalry Thursday. And obviously, Powell, we know about them, quarters, semis, win the state championship, get back to the semis last year, play away from going back to Chattanooga. So we know it's going to be a war, and we just got to be a dog fight, and we just got to keep getting better and just play every game to the best of our ability and just see where this group takes us.
Hey, thanks for taking some time. Congrats, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Let's send it back for a 3-minute break. 3-minute break. When we come back, Mike Sheehan and Josh Frazier, along with Mark Haste, will help to wrap things up.
Okay, they're going to take a 3-minute break and they're coming back to us. You want to say anything? I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. I don't want you to think I'm mistreating you. I said, I certainly don't want you to think I'm mistreating you. And we're back here at Blankenship Field halftime. You started another ad. There was a delay in there. I thought he was dead. Josh, what's your last name again? Frazier. Frazier. Thank you.
You guys gonna bring it back until Mark's ready? You guys got it?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
But it hadn't got back yet.
Okay, I figured not, but after you do the scoring summary, don't go to break. No more breaks. So after you're done the scoring summary, Mark's ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that mic.
Okay, I'm gonna let you talk. And when you get through making your comments, let me know, and then I'll finish the scoring summary, okay?
Okay.
Is that all right?
You want to toss it to me?
Huh?
You want to toss it to me? Just some thoughts about the game?
I'll let you bring it back whenever if you want.
Oh, okay. Just welcome back to Blankenship. End of the game. Oak Ridge wins.
You don't say your name. This is Josh Frazier. Welcome back. Start with your name.
All right.
Please.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. I'm Josh Frazier. where Oak Ridge has defeated Jefferson County 30-13 in Coach Rang's first win as the Wildcat head coach. And I tell you what, first of all, it's great to be back for another season of high school football, and it's even better to come back with Oak Ridge finishing it off with a win and Coach Rang's first win in what was really a great game, a tough game, turnovers on both sides, but an Oak Ridge defense that really stood the test when those turnovers happened and kept Jefferson County out of this game pretty much the whole time until that last couple of minutes of the game. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Absolutely. I thought the Oak Ridge defense really stepped up tonight. This is a young team, a lot of sophomores, but they're very talented sophomores, Josh, and I'm impressed, especially with their quarterback, Blaine Stansberry. For a sophomore, he played outstanding tonight. And what can you say about Oak Ridge receivers? Vashon Miles, Will Presley, Armani Rembert. Of course, Brandon Hayward's probably one of the best receivers we've had in years. So we're loaded offensively. And defensively, I thought the Wildcats played a great game up front.
Oh, absolutely. The receivers are great. The quarterback was great, especially, like you said, he's just a sophomore. But it's the first game of the year. A couple of issues. Jefferson County got into the backfield and gave Oak Ridge a little bit of trouble, but Stansberry stood in the pocket. He didn't bow down, and he came right back the next play to make something happen for Oak Ridge and keep them in the game and put some points up on the board and really give Oak Ridge a fighting chance in this game.
Absolutely. And what a tremendous comeback after, getting down 7-0. They didn't get down in the mouth. They just came right back. They marched down the field. They got to the 10-yard line. They bogged down, and Oak Ridge kicked a field goal, and it, made it 3-7. And then, we had a 32-yard touchdown and got back in this game, and we outscored them 17-0 in the second quarter and put them away. Really. And at halftime, they led 17-7, went on to score another touchdown in the third quarter, and then finished off with a fourth quarter frenzy, another touchdown, and they walk away with a 30-14 victory. What a tremendous night for the Wildcats against the Jefferson County Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great night, and the expectations are high, so we'll see what happens next week, or actually 2 weeks from now. But it looks like right now we're going to hand things off to Mark, and he's going to give you the scoring summary.
All right, Marquez here, where Oak Ridge is victorious tonight by a final score of 30-13 over Jefferson County. Looking at the statistics, first for Oak Ridge, they were led on the ground by Dozier. He had 84 yards on 14 carries. That's an average of 6 yards per carry. His long tonight was 21 yards. Riker Arms had 2 carries for 22 yards. His long was 21 as well. Armani Rembert had a carry for -1 yards, and Blaine Stansberry 5 carries, -13 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 22 times, totaling 92 yards on the ground. Through the air, the Wildcats, Blaine Stansberry, he was 21 of 35 for 222 yards. He did have 3 interceptions on the night. Brandon Hayward, 0 of 1 for tonight. So as a team, the Wildcats were 21 of 36 for 222 yards on the through the air with 3 interceptions. Receiving for the Wildcats, they were led by Brandon Hayward, 9 receptions for 94 yards. His long was 27. Alamani Rembert, he had 5 receptions for 87 yards. That's an average of 17 yards per reception. His long was 45 yards. Vashon Knowles had an 18-yard reception. DeJovis Dozier had 3 receptions for 13 yards, and Will Presley had 3 receptions for 11 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats, as I said, they had 92 yards on the ground for 22 off 22 carries. They had 222 yards on 21 receptions for a total offense tonight of 314 yards. Wildcats accumulated 12 first downs in the ballgame, penalized 8 times for 70 yards.
Now looking at Jefferson County, they were led on the ground by number 3, Skyler Thomas. He had 96 yards on 6 carries. Amarian Mills had 38 yards on 15 carries. Sean Jackson carried the ball 6 times for 25 yards. Dallas Williamson, he had 6 carries, totaling 17 yards. Mason Henderson, the quarterback, he had 5 carries for 3 yards. And Jackson Osborne had 2 carries, netting 0 yards. So as a team, the Patriots, they carried the ball 40 times, totaling 179 yards on the ground. That's an average of 4.5 yards per carry. Through the air, starting quarterback Mason Henderson, he was 5 of 13 for 51 yards. He had 2 interceptions on the night. His long was 38 yards. In the fourth quarter, Jackson Osborne came on for the Patriots. He had a reception. He was 1 of 3 for 7 yards. So as a team, passing, the Patriots were 6 of 16 for 58 yards with 3 interceptions. Receiving for Jefferson County, they were led by Bryson Letterman. He had 2 receptions for 45 yards. With Dallas Williamson, he had 2 receptions as well, totaling 8 yards. Dustin Roberts, 1 reception for 7 yards. And Jaden Jackson had a reception for -2 yards. So as a whole, the Patriots had 179 yards on the ground on 40 carries. They had 58 yards through the air on 6 receptions for a total offense tonight of 237 yards. Jefferson County had 8 first downs in the ballgame. They were penalized 12 times for 116 yards. Looking at the team side by side, rushing, Oak Ridge had 92 yards. Jefferson County 179 yards. Through the air, Oak Ridge had 222 yards. Jefferson County was held to 58. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 314 total offensive yards. Jefferson County had 237. Oak Ridge had 12 first downs in the ballgame. Jefferson County had 8. Penalties, Oak Ridge penalized 8 times for 70 yards. Jefferson County 12 penalties for 116 yards. Turnovers tonight. Oak Ridge had 2 fumbles, and they lost both of them. After telling you the score, Oak Ridge victorious 30-13, and we'll send it back to Alex.
Thank you very much, Mark. As we're going to, we've taken up enough of our audience's time. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate every one of our camera guys that helped. We appreciate Mark and Shauna Haste, and certainly I appreciate you, Mike. I'll get your final thoughts on the start of the Derek Rang era and yet another season of Oak Ridge Wildcat football, starting off 1-0 against Jefferson County. What a win. Your final thoughts?
It was just a great game, Alec. No doubt about it. The Wildcats played very well on offense and defense. I was very impressed with Derek Rang and Coach David Justice as defensive coordinator. They both did a super job getting this team ready for the first game of the season. And, you know, there's some rough spots. There always is in the first game. But when you can beat a tough Jefferson County team like we did tonight, it's impressive what the job they did. And I'm so proud of this team and the new coach of this high school and the student body. Everybody was just so excited tonight. And I'm glad the Wildcats came out with a big victory over the Jefferson County Patriots.
Thank you so much for your thoughts, for your time and participation and help. Without you, without all of our crew here at prepradio.com, this would not be possible. Thank you especially to Brian Bennett back at the station, David Clary for executive producing. He'll be back soon with us in the catbird seat here from Blankenship Field. Alex Myers saying good night and go Wildcats.